Costco recently quietly implemented a series of its biggest changes in years, from tightening membership card rules and changing packaging to discontinuing a legendary menu item, and even canceling long-time members' accounts without prior notice. Are these changes truly a disadvantage, as recent complaints suggest, or are they actually an opportunity for you to turn them to your advantage? Let's analyze each change so you can find the answer for yourself. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. Tightening membership control with digital scanners. If you visited Costco recently and noticed the entry process felt different, you're not mistaken. The days of simply showing the back of your card to an employee and walking right in are gone. Now, there are automated scanning kiosks, with the cardholder's photo appearing directly on the door clerk's screen for verification. And this process applies to both the food court and the self-checkout area. During the first week of rollout at a California location, employees described the entrance around 10 a.m. on a weekend. A line nearly 20 people long, not because the machines were broken, but because shoppers only started digging through their wallets right at the door. Seniors struggled with the touchscreen, while younger shoppers kept their heads down staring at their phones looking for the QR code. Inconvenient? Absolutely, there's no denying that. However, right there in California, a longtime member left a comment on Reddit that got thousands of upvotes. "I pay $130 a year. I shouldn't have to wait in line behind someone using their cousin's card." This isn't just a bitter rant. It reflects a reality that many honest members have quietly tolerated for a long time. Card sharing, borrowing from relatives, or group shopping on a single account was hardly rare. When Costco let that continue, the lost revenue ultimately had to be offset somewhere, and the shelf prices were the first thing affected. If you're worried about the inconvenience, the solution takes just 30 seconds. Download the Costco app, pull up your digital membership card, and have it ready before walking in from the parking lot. Passing through the scanner takes less than 2 seconds. No digging through your wallet, no keeping the line behind you waiting. This change is fair and reasonable. It's only annoying for those who are used to taking advantage of the old loophole. Thousands of people are arguing over a plastic bag at Costco. Sounds absurd until you find out what's really being affected behind it. Rotisserie chicken packaging transition. Costco's $4.99 rotisserie chicken is one of the rare items that has held its price steady despite years of climbing inflation. But stepping into 2026, it isn't the chicken that changed. It's what wraps around it. The familiar, clear, hard plastic dome container used for decades has been discontinued, replaced by a flexible, standing zip-top plastic pouch. The online backlash flared up quickly and specifically. Customers complained that the flexible pouch leaks grease into their trunks if not kept upright, that the chicken skin gets soggy from steam accumulating inside the sealed bag, and that it's harder to see through to pick the biggest bird in the batch. Some even raised concerns about flexible plastic coming into contact with hot food. A shopper in Texas posted a TikTok video of a grease-stained trunk, and the clip went viral fast, drawing thousands of sympathetic comments. Those concerns aren't without merit. However, here's the part many people overlook while venting their frustration. Switching to flexible bags cuts Costco's plastic usage by 75% across its entire rotisserie chicken lineup, equivalent to saving over 17 million pounds of virgin plastic every year. A single pallet of flexible pouches holds the equivalent volume of 5 pallets of the old rigid plastic containers, cutting more than 1,000 truckloads per year. More importantly, the savings from packaging and shipping are part of how Costco keeps the price at $4.99 while poultry costs keep rising. Do you want the price to stay the same, or do you want to keep the old plastic container? In reality, it's hard to have both at the same time. As for the grease leak issue, there's a simple workaround. Keep the bag upright or set it inside a reusable tote in your car. If the chicken skin gets soft, just open the bag as soon as you get home and pop the chicken in the oven for a few minutes to bring back the crispiness. These aren't insurmountable inconveniences. They're just new habits that take a little time to build. The chicken is still the same chicken, only the outer wrapping has changed. The story of a Costco food court item that vanished forever despite tens of thousands signing a petition to bring it back. And why Costco's refusal to back down is harder to dispute than you think. Discontinuing the combo pizza. Certain things are so tied to shopping memories that when they vanish, the reaction isn't just about inconvenience, it's a feeling of losing something familiar. The combo pizza at the Costco food court was one of those things. The official decision to kill it off, despite Change.org petition campaigns gathering tens of thousands of signatures, was one of the most emotionally charged moves by the Costco community in recent years. To understand why Costco didn't back down despite such heavy pressure, you have to look at how the food court actually operates. The combo pizza had too many fresh ingredients: bell peppers, onions, mushrooms, sausage, and olives, with customers frequently making custom modification requests. This constantly disrupted the automated pizza baking line, stretched out prep times, and drove up ingredient waste in ways that were impossible to manage efficiently across hundreds of warehouse locations. The calzone was introduced as a replacement because it features fixed ingredient portions sealed inside a crust, requires no custom requests, and yields significantly higher sales volume. The problem is, the calzone wasn't received the way Costco hoped. A member on the Costco Insider Forum shared, "I tried the calzone 3 times, and all 3 times I left half of it behind. The crust is too thick, there isn't enough filling, and it just doesn't give you that feeling of pulling a hot slice of pizza off the tray like I've done for 15 years. That feedback isn't an isolated case. The crust is overly thick, the ratio of filling to cheese is unbalanced, and most importantly, it fails to deliver the same experience as a crispy baked slice of pizza that shoppers have grown accustomed to." A calzone is essentially a folded sealed pizza, but when you fold up 15 or 20 years of nostalgia, the result is never quite equal. Costco's business strategy made sense, but the execution was lacking. If the calzone were truly great, this controversy wouldn't have dragged on for so long. The flaw wasn't in discontinuing the combo pizza, it was in the quality of what was brought in to replace it. This is one of those rare instances where customer complaints reflect a genuine product issue rather than mere emotional pushback. New option for the 150 combo. Costco's $1.50 hot dog and soda combo is one of the very few things that hasn't changed price in nearly 40 years, from 1985 all the way to now. While everything around it has jumped in price, that $1.50 figure has stayed put so consistently that many view it as living proof that Costco is still on the shopper's side. Stepping into 2026, Costco didn't raise the price of this combo, but they quietly added an option that most customers haven't realized yet. You can now swap out the 20 Oz fountain soda for a 16 Oz Kirkland Signature purified bottled water, still for the exact same $1.50, without adding a single cent. This choice isn't prominently advertised at the counter, employees don't actively mention it, and most shoppers only spot it when they happen to pause and look closely at the kiosk screen, instead of tapping through quickly out of habit. For people who need to manage their sugar intake due to diabetes or high blood pressure, this is the genuine difference between a worry-free meal and one that requires careful calculating. A longtime member in Seattle shared on a Costco forum that he had stopped visiting the food court for 2 years because he couldn't drink soda. When his son pointed out the bottled water option on the kiosk screen, his immediate reaction was, "Why didn't anyone tell me this sooner?" That question actually has a pretty clear answer. Costco has no incentive to broadly advertise an option that trims down their food court beverage revenue. There's another practical point that few people notice. In cities or states that enforce an excise tax on sugary drinks, like Seattle or parts of California, choosing bottled water keeps your order at an exact $1.50 without triggering additional sugar tax fees. Next time you're standing in front of the kiosk, don't tap through too fast. The option is right there. It just wasn't designed to jump out at you on your first try. Costco just raised its membership fees right when everything else is getting more expensive. Up next, you'll learn when upgrading your card is actually worth it and when it's not. Membership fee hike and the trend towards smaller packaging. Costco has officially raised its membership fees. The Gold Star tier went from $60 to $65, and the Executive tier went from $120 to $130 per year. This isn't the first time Costco has done this. They've bumped up fees multiple times throughout their history, and each time triggered a similar wave of pushback. What makes this round feel different is the timing, hitting right in the middle of an inflationary stretch where households are forced to rethink every single line item in their budget. The backlash across consumer news outlets has been fairly sharp. Many critics point out that with food prices climbing and the cost of living surging, It feels tone-deaf for a brand built on keeping prices low to hike its membership fees right now. A widely shared comment on Twitter read, "Costco raising fees by $10 while I'm out here debating whether I should buy a pack of yogurt." That sentiment is real, and it accurately reflects how a segment of budget-conscious members feels. Looking back at history, though, Costco only bumps its membership fee once every 5 to 7 years. The previous price hike was back in 2017, meaning they held the line for nearly a decade, while operating costs, employee wages, and logistics expenses all rose significantly. The $5 increase for Gold Star and $10 for Executive breaks down to less than $1 a month. That's a relatively minor adjustment relative to the cost pressures Costco is absorbing behind the scenes to keep shelf prices low. Costco's membership renewal rate consistently stays above 90% even after fee hikes, a number that speaks volumes about whether members still find real value in their card. Hand in hand with the fee increase is another emerging trend. Instead of only offering the massive, oversized bulk packs shoppers are used to, Costco is testing out somewhat more modest pack sizes at select locations to better fit smaller, modern households. This rollout isn't widespread yet, but it's being watched closely. For singles or two-person households, this could be a welcome shift that prevents overbuying and food spoilage. For bulk shoppers who count on buying massive quantities to maximize unit savings, however, that's a different story. Costco recently activated a tracking system that most members don't even know exists, and it's directly impacting the accounts of those who abuse the return policy. Tightening card cancellation policies for return abuse. Costco's 100% satisfaction guaranteed refund policy remains fully intact on paper. Recently, several members have received account termination notices without prior warning, sending a wave of anxiety through the shopping community. Is Costco scaling back its famous return policy? The short answer is no, but there's a longer story worth understanding. Costco has activated a historical account data analytics system to detect systematic patterns of abuse, and they are canceling memberships in those cases. Incidents uncovered on Reddit and Costco employee forums reveal truly unbelievable levels of abuse. A kayak rental business owner bought 12 kayaks in May for summer commercial use, then returned all of them in September for a 100% refund. One customer brought back a refrigerator after using it for an entire decade. Another returned food that was 80% consumed, claiming it didn't taste right. It might sound absurd, but Costco employees share that these cases are far from rare, and the costs from such abusive returns accumulate into numbers large enough to impact operations. Costco's generous policy has survived for so long because the majority of members use it as intended. When a small fraction exploits it like a free rental service, those costs ultimately get absorbed elsewhere in the system. What worries many members is that the line between using the policy correctly and getting flagged isn't always obvious. In reality, Costco's system doesn't look at individual transactions in isolation. It looks at the big picture of your account history over time. Someone returning a defective TV after 2 months will never be flagged. That's precisely why the policy exists. But for someone who returns 5 TVs in 3 years with constantly changing reasons, or someone who buys expensive electronics before every holiday season and returns them right afterward, the system spots that behavioral pattern automatically without requiring any manual tracking by employees. If you're reading this and wondering whether you might accidentally end up on that watch list, the practical answer is, if you have to ask yourself that question, chances are you aren't on it. The canceled memberships involved clear, systematic abuse, not everyday shoppers using the return policy for its intended purpose. Digitizing the bakery ordering process. If you've ever ordered a birthday cake or a party platter at the Costco bakery counter, you know what that process looks like. A paper order form, filled out by hand, handed to an employee, and then returning to pick it up on a different day. That system was in place for decades, and for decades, it also caused lost orders, misread handwriting, or customers showing up for pickup only for staff to find no record of the order. Stepping into 2026, Costco has begun phasing out those paper forms entirely, shifting the entire bakery and catering order process over to their mobile app. The response from a segment of traditional members has been somewhat hesitant. On online forums, many expressed concerns about the app glitching right when they urgently need to order a cake, or a feeling that Costco was losing its classic touch by forcing customers to use smartphones. One senior member in Florida shared, I've been ordering my grandson's birthday cake at the bakery counter every year since 2003. Now they're telling me I have to use an app. I don't even know where to start. That sentiment is real and deserves to be heard. Looking at the actual data, however, paints a clearer picture. Costco app traffic surged by 40% during this period, showing that the majority of members are far more comfortable interacting digitally with Costco than many might think. The old paper ordering system didn't just lose orders, it also forced shoppers to make two separate trips to the warehouse, once to place the order and once to pick it up. For someone living 30 minutes away from the warehouse, that meant an hour and a half of drive time just for a cake. Ordering through the app solves that completely without altering anything else about the shopping experience. Hand in hand with this rollout is a scan-and-go test run across 27 warehouse locations, allowing shoppers to scan product barcodes with their phones while walking the aisles and pay directly in the app without going through a checkout line. Real-world results from test warehouses show checkout speeds jumped by up to 20%, bringing transaction times down to under 10 seconds per customer. Long checkout lines have historically been the top complaint among Costco shoppers, making this the first real technological solution directly targeting that bottleneck. In this regard, Costco is catching up with Sam's Club, a competitor that introduced Scan and Go much earlier to overwhelmingly positive user feedback. For those apprehensive about technology, it's worth noting that Scan and Go and app-based ordering aren't mandatory, at least not during the current testing phase. Traditional checkout lanes are still there, but if you're already used to shopping on your phone elsewhere, this is a feature worth trying out because it directly addresses the single biggest complaint among Costco shoppers. I have 3 tips to help you make the most of these recent changes. Not generic advice, but practical, actionable steps you can apply on your very next shopping trip. Bonus cost optimization tips. Costco's changes in 2026 create a bit of initial inconvenience, but looking back, most of them have concrete solutions if you know what to do. First, regarding memberships. If your household has 2 people holding separate individual executive accounts, now is the time to merge them under one primary account and issue a free household card to the second person. You will instantly save $130 in annual renewal fees without losing any shopping privileges. Many households are paying for 2 separate memberships simply because they've never sat down to evaluate whether it's actually necessary. As for upgrading to the executive membership, there's a simple rule of thumb. If your household's annual spending at Costco is under $3,250, which breaks down to roughly under $270 a month, the 2% cashback won't cover the $65 price difference compared to the basic Gold Star membership. Once you spend above that threshold, the executive tier starts delivering real value. Furthermore, if you upgrade and your annual cashback reward fails to cover that $65 difference, Costco will refund the remaining balance in cash at the customer service desk. A little-known policy that eliminates all risk from upgrading. With the new card scanners at the entrance, the simplest workaround is to download the Costco app, save your digital membership card, and open it before walking in from the parking lot. You'll pass through the entrance in under 2 seconds. No digging through your wallet, no keeping the line behind you waiting. A small habit makes the entire entry process a non-issue. And as for the return policy, as long as you use it for its intended purpose, you have nothing to worry about. Defective items, subpar food quality, or electronics that don't perform as advertised all fall within standard use, and Costco's system will not flag those cases. This change targets only systematic abuse, not everyday shoppers exercising their membership rights responsibly. Costco isn't changing to make things harder for you, but rather to preserve the very things you pay for: low prices, consistent quality, and a fair policy. Properly understanding each change is the best way for you to continue getting the absolute most value out of your membership card. I just spent the whole morning looking through 30 of the newest items at Costco. To be honest, there were items that made me throw them straight into my cart because they were such an incredible deal. But there were also plenty of names that made longtime shoppers shake their heads and walk on by. Shelves are emptying out super fast this time around, so check this out before you hit the road. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. 1. Full-size designer perfumes. This shipment marks the return of the high-end fragrance display at Costco, a rare instance where they offer a lineup of truly impressive full-size bottles. Gucci, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, Estee Lauder, all are large bottles starting at 3.4 Oz or bigger, fully sealed, and 100% authentic. $60 for a full-size bottle of perfume from these brands is a price tag you'll never see at department stores or Sephora. If you're looking for a luxurious gift for a loved one or simply want to treat yourself, now is the time to act rather than wait. 2. 15-inch cast iron skillet. A 15-inch diameter cast iron skillet is a rare find on standard supermarket shelves, and $20 for one like this at Costco is a figure that makes any experienced home cook stop and take a second look. To put it in clear comparison, a same-sized Lodge skillet on the market usually goes for no less than $40 to $50. The skillet comes pre-seasoned from the factory, so there's no need for a complicated initial seasoning process. Just a light rinse with warm water, and it's ready to go. The large size allows you to fit 2 to 3 large steaks perfectly or roast a whole chicken at once without crowding. 3. Pretty Litter Cat Litter. If you have cats at home and see a price tag ending in 97 on this product, you should grab it immediately. $29.97 is the clearance signal at Costco, meaning it's the lowest price they will sell it for and won't go down any further, whereas the regular price for Pretty Litter here is always over $40. The biggest difference with this silica crystal litter is its ability to change color upon contact with cat urine, helping pet owners catch early signs of urinary tract or kidney health issues that are usually very hard to detect. It controls odors well, is dust-free, and is much more economical than traditional litter because it lasts longer. A price difference of over $10 off the original price makes it a savings truly worth not passing up. 4. Tempur-Pedic Memory Foam Pillow. Tempur-Pedic is a brand almost everyone knows, but few expect to find at Costco for $30. This new Serenity version features frost-cooling fabric technology, giving you a cool-to-the-touch feel the second you lay your head down, with a medium support level that isn't too firm or too soft. Suitable for almost any sleeping position. Bought directly at specialty bedding stores, a comparable Tempur-Pedic pillow is usually no less than $70 to $100. This is the kind of product where the price gap is big enough that you don't even need to second-guess it. Costco currently has a food item that Costco shoppers are taking photos of and sharing all over community groups. And after hearing the price, I understand why. 5. French-style fresh cheese. If you're used to traditional Philadelphia cream cheese, which is quite dense and firm, this French-style cream cheese will surprise you on the first try. The texture is smooth, light, and airy, and so easy to spread that scooping a spoonful onto a hot slice of bread feels almost like spreading soft butter. It contains absolutely no preservatives or synthetic additives, and a 3-pack is only $9, making it $3 a tub for high-quality imported cheese. Similar items at Whole Foods usually range from $4.50 to $6 for a single tub. Experience shows that smooth, velvety cheeses like this at Costco sell out way faster than people think, especially at this price point. 6. Guinness Beer Battered Fish. At $12.69, you get all the main ingredients for a classic British-style fish and chips meal for a family of 3 to 4, whereas ordering a single plate of fried fish at a restaurant usually runs $18 to $22 for a single portion. The breaded batter turns out super crispy, while the fish inside stays naturally juicy and sweet. One crucial tip: absolutely do not use a microwave to reheat this, or the crust will turn soggy immediately. Pop it in the air fryer at 390 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes, and you'll notice a world of difference compared to standard reheating methods. 7. Kevin's Korean BBQ Chicken Rice. For busy days when you still want a nutritious meal, a box of Kevin's with 4 single-serving portions for $15.50 is definitely worth keeping stocked in your fridge. Each serving includes tender chicken breast, rice, broccoli, and carrots, delivering 21 g of protein while keeping the carbs in check. The Korean BBQ sauce has a rich, mildly sweet flavor profile and isn't spicy at all, despite what many might fear. To be completely honest, the only downside is that the rice portion is a bit light for big eaters, but adding half a cup of home-cooked rice or steaming some extra fresh veggies solves the problem right away. 8. 3-flavor Greek olive tray. 3 varieties of Greek olives, cured with 3 distinct recipes, ranging from rich and savory to light and subtle herbs, all presented in a pre-divided plastic tray. The most thoughtful feature isn't just the flavor, but the packaging design. You just peel off the plastic film and set it straight out on the table for guests. No need to transfer it to a plate, and no extra cleanup afterward. For households that frequently host weekend guests or enjoy Mediterranean cuisine, $10 for a tray like this is money well spent. 9. Tzatziki-flavored chickpea chips. If you're looking for a gluten-free snack that still delivers a satisfying crunch, this 16 Oz bag for $9 is far more worth trying than other options in the same category. Made from whole chickpeas baked with light olive oil, the tangy, fresh flavor of cucumber and signature Mediterranean tzatziki herbs coats every single chip without feeling greasy. I really appreciate the Ziploc closure on the bag, which helps the chips stay crispy after every opening. 10. Organic avocado oil roasted seaweed. A box of 25 packs for $9.89 works out to about 40 cents a pack. And what sets it apart from standard roasted seaweed is the organic avocado oil coating. Avocado oil is not only rich in heart-healthy fats, but it also has a high smoke point, allowing the seaweed sheets to retain their natural crispiness without leaving behind an oily aftertaste. I usually buy this instead of the regular seed oil roasted seaweed because the difference in aftertaste is quite noticeable. A single pack usually costs nearly $5 at standard supermarkets, so picking up a full 25-pack box at Costco saves you a significant amount of money. 11. Sahale Honey Cinnamon Cashews. Sahale is a premium snack brand that I often see at specialty food stores for a pretty steep price, so seeing them show up at Costco in pre-portioned individual bags makes it worth pausing for. The rich, buttery cashews are coated in a fragrant honey cinnamon glaze, dotted with chewy dried apple pieces that create a light, sweet combination that never feels overly heavy. $12 for this line at Costco is a price point that anyone who regularly buys Sahale elsewhere will immediately recognize as a great value. 12. Sahale Pomegranate Vanilla Cashews. Coming in the same convenient single-serve format, this pomegranate vanilla version offers a completely different flavor profile, more complex and more interesting than the honey-cinnamon blend. Cashews and walnuts are tossed together in a sweet pomegranate vanilla glaze, mixed with crunchy almonds and chewy dried fruit pieces. I find this to be a better option for those looking for a midday snack that won't cause a sudden spike in blood sugar, and it's $18 for the entire box. 13. Godiva Chocolates. Godiva is a premium Belgian chocolate brand that almost everyone knows by name, but not everyone is always ready to pay boutique prices for. This $15 bag at Costco contains individually wrapped pieces with smooth, silky cream fillings that blend a soft bitterness with rich sweetness, and having them individually portioned makes portion control much easier than with a full bar. If you buy these on your next visit, hit the chocolate aisle last before heading to checkout and make sure you have an insulated cooler bag ready in your trunk, because these chocolates will not survive the heat in a summer car. The next item is only $10, but calculation-wise, its daily value is far greater than many pricier things I've tried. 14. Lavender Lemonade. The moment you pop the cap off the bottle, you immediately get that characteristic subtle herbal aroma of lavender right before the sharp tartness of fresh lemon hits your tongue. A 6-pack goes for 17 cents, around $2.80 a bottle, which is slightly higher than standard bottled drinks. The overall sugar content is still relatively high, so my preferred way to drink it is by mixing in a splash of sparkling water. It cuts down the sweetness while bringing out the lavender flavor much more clearly. Drinking it that way is how you truly appreciate how different this bottle is compared to regular lemonade. 15. Suja Fermented Pineapple Ginger Shots. Instead of going through the hassle of juicing fresh ginger and pineapple every morning, this 10-pack of organic shots from Suja for $12.70 is a far more convenient gut health solution. Each 2 Oz concentrated shot contains pure fresh ginger extract, pineapple juice, probiotics, and vitamin C, with absolutely no added artificial sugars. It's particularly great for anyone who often gets bloated or suffers from indigestion after a greasy meal. Make sure to give the bottle a really good shake before opening it, so the nutrients and settled ginger blend completely. If you skip this step, the ginger flavor won't be even, and it'll taste noticeably less enjoyable. 16. Activia Probiotic Drink. A 24-pack of mini bottles is priced at $10.89, which works out to about 45 cents a bottle for an Activia probiotic drink line that many gastroenterologists frequently recommend. The 2 strawberry and blueberry flavors are easy to drink, And the small shot format is far more convenient when you're busy than traditional yogurt that requires a spoon. Every small bottle delivers billions of probiotics to help keep your digestive system running smoothly and reduce that heavy, sluggish feeling after protein-rich meals. For households with seniors who need regular probiotic supplements, this 24-pack is an economical choice. 17. BuzzBallz Fruit Cocktail. BuzzBallz is famous for its bold, ready-to-drink cocktail balls, and this oversized 1.75L bottle in the Tropic Tang flavor is an explosion of refreshing tropical fruits with a moderate alcohol content, perfect for backyard BBQ parties or family weekend get-togethers. $16 for a 1.75L bottle is a price tag you'd be hard-pressed to find anywhere else for that volume. One crucial thing to know is that Costco frequently rotates BuzzBallz flavors by season, and they only stick around for a short time, so if this Tropic Tang flavor hits the spot for you, don't wait around. 18. KitchenAid Stainless Steel Dish Drying Rack. KitchenAid isn't a brand you often see at Costco at this price point, and this $40 stainless steel dish rack currently on shelves is worth a closer look than usual. It features a heavy-duty stainless steel frame and a spacious layout with thoughtfully arranged compartments for plates, utensils, and glassware. The rack includes a bottom drip tray with a spout that drains directly into the sink, keeping your kitchen countertop completely dry. One thing to keep in mind before laying down your money is to carefully measure the space next to your sink. The rack is relatively large, and if it doesn't fit properly, it will get in the way of your cooking workflow. 19. Libby 16-piece glassware set. When it comes to a drinkware set for the whole family that is both durable and stylish enough for hosting guests, Libby is a brand you can trust. The design features subtle textured ridges along the body that add an elegant touch while improving your grip when the glass gets condensation from cold drinks. The set is split evenly into 8 large 17.5 Oz glasses and 8 small 11 Oz glasses, making them suitable for everything from water to morning coffee. It works out to under $1.20 per sturdy Libby glass, and $19 for the entire 16-piece set is a price point where I see no reason to pass up. 20. Canopy Camping Chair. On camping trips or outdoor sporting events, having a comfortable chair to sit in is a given, but the built-in overhead canopy is what truly sets this apart. There's no need to haul around a bulky umbrella or ask someone to hold it for you. Just unfold the shade and you're fully protected from the harsh sun. The chair is also equipped with backpack-style straps on the back, freeing up your hands as you walk from the parking lot to the stadium or campsite. However, one point I feel I should speak directly about is that the shoulder straps lack thick padding, so if you have to walk long distances, you'll feel them digging into your shoulders a bit. $70 for an all-in-one design like this is still a reasonable price. Up next is a skincare ingredient that beauty experts have been talking about a lot, and Costco just put it on shelves at a price I never expected to see here. 21. PDRN and Vitamin C Serum. PDRN, salmon DNA extract, is currently a trendy ingredient heavily promoted by spas and high-end cosmetics brands for its ability to regenerate cells and repair damaged skin. Costco bringing a serum line that combines PDRN with pure vitamin C to its shelves shows they are quick to jump on beauty trends. PDRN serums elsewhere typically range from $40 to $60 for a single bottle, whereas this 2-pack here is just $34. If you're curious about this ingredient but don't want to invest too much to try it, this is a very reasonable opportunity. Yumiki Olai Daily Radiance Cream. This moisturizing duo containing vitamin C and niacinamide helps improve skin elasticity and even out skin tone, and $40 for a 2-pack is the standard warehouse list price. However, if you are a long-time Costco shopper, you know that Olay skincare lines very frequently appear in the monthly coupon savings, usually with $8 to $10 off per promotion. So be patient and hold off for another week or two. 23. Tide Pods Laundry Detergent. This line of detergent pods integrated with Unstoppables scent boosters smells noticeably longer lasting than regular Tide Pods, and 80 pods in a single purchase is enough to last a household quite a while. However, at the current price of $20, I still advise you to wait a bit longer. Tide Pods are one of those items Costco frequently includes it in their monthly instant savings, and when the discount hits, the price difference is significant enough to make waiting worthwhile. 24. Esprit Retro Sweatshirt. This is an item currently going viral across social media platforms, and as soon as it hit the shelves, the cream-colored version immediately sold out on the Costco website. For $17, you get a sweatshirt with the Esprit brand name, clean stitching, and a fleece fabric that holds its shape well after multiple washes. The retro style is making a strong comeback, and Esprit is a name closely tied to that generation, making this sweatshirt not just a piece of clothing, but something many people want to own for its nostalgic value. Costco just brought in a pet product where the price difference compared to Petco was big enough that I had to double-check the price tag twice just to be sure. 25. Halloween Pajama Set. Starting at the end of July, Costco began putting Halloween items on the shelves, and this themed loungewear set is one of the most notable things this time around. $17 for a three-piece set that includes a short-sleeve shirt, long pants, and stretch shorts works out to under $6 per piece, featuring cute ghost and pumpkin prints that aren't overly tacky. The fit is comfortably relaxed without feeling stuffy while sleeping, and the material is soft enough to wear all day around the house, not just for bed. 26. Kirkland Pet Bed. Kirkland's signature has long been famous for pet products with quality that far exceeds their price tag. And this large 31-40-inch bed is a prime example. The thick polyfill padding has high resilience and won't go flat after long-term use. Finding a medium to large dog bed of equivalent quality at Petco or PetSmart usually runs you anywhere from $80 to $120, whereas $45 at Costco for that exact quality is an investment I don't think any dog owner would regret. 27. Simple Human Laundry Hamper. Simple Human always knows how to turn the most everyday household items into something truly convenient. And this X-frame stainless steel hamper selling online for $140 is the clearest proof. The frame is rock solid and won't wobble or tip over even when filled with heavy clothes, featuring 2 separate fabric bags to sort light and dark laundry right from the start. The smartest design feature is that the inner fabric bags have sturdy handles and detach in a flash. When it's time to do laundry, you just lift the entire bag out and carry it to the washing machine without dragging the whole bulky frame along. 28. Igloo Retro Cooler. Igloo is a heritage cooler brand, and this 20-quart retro version selling online for $100 packs a heavy vintage style with a shiny stainless steel body and a built-in bottle opener right on the side. The 20-quart capacity is just right for a family day trip without being overly bulky when on the move. At $100 with shipping included for a durable metal-clad cooler from a renowned brand like Igloo, this is a price point worth serious consideration. 29. Light Up Halloween Plush. This 2-foot-tall plush bear wearing a Halloween costume is selling online for $83. And what makes it feel worth the money beyond its looks is the warm yellow glow integrated inside. You don't have to use it just for October. Simply swapping out a few surrounding accessories allows this bear to blend seamlessly into the cozy vibe of the Christmas season. For a decorative item that works across both of the year's biggest holiday seasons, $83 with doorstep delivery included is a much more reasonable expense than buying 2 separate decorations. 30. Lenovo Legion Gaming Console. Looking at the $1,700 price tag, this is clearly not a product for everyone, and there's nothing wrong with that. It features a crisp display, powerful hardware specs optimized for high-end graphics, a comfortable in-hand grip, and a cooling system that runs much quieter than other handheld gaming devices in the same tier. For those who are genuinely passionate about gaming and seeking a premium handheld device, this is an option worth serious consideration, especially since buying at Costco backs your purchase with their generous return policy if you're not satisfied. After hands-on testing all 30 products in this lineup, my honest advice is to stay smart when loading up your cart. Grab items marked with a clearance label or deep discounts immediately, like the fine fragrances. But hold off on the Olay skincare until the next coupon event arrives. Don't forget to keep a cooler bag in your trunk so your cold and frozen items stay in top shape. Wishing you and your family a fun, budget-smart shopping trip. Did you know that Costco employees themselves are using these hidden perks to save their families money every single week? Things they know, but no one ever asks. And Costco has no reason to voluntarily disclose. 10 insider secrets revealed for 2026 that aren't listed in any membership guide, and some of them will leave you wondering why you didn't know about them sooner. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. 1. The CMPP Pharmacy Network. Most Costco members think that to buy prescription medication at Costco prices, they have to drive to the warehouse, wait in line at the pharmacy counter, and wait like usual. That's how most people do it, and it's also the way Costco has no reason to actively inform you otherwise. The truth is that the Costco Member Prescription Program, CMPP for short, is valid at thousands of out-of-network retail pharmacies nationwide, including Walgreens, Safeway, Kroger, and Albertsons. That means you can get your prescriptions filled at Costco prices right at your local pharmacy without ever setting foot inside a warehouse. For people who live far from a Costco, seniors who can no longer drive long distances, or simply anyone who doesn't want to waste an entire morning just picking up meds, this benefit completely changes the way you handle your monthly healthcare costs. A Costco pharmacy employee once shared that many longtime members only find out about this program at the warehouse counter itself. It's not that Costco hides the information. They simply have no incentive to promote a perk that keeps you from coming into the store to shop. This program also applies to pet medications, something even seasoned employees often forget to mention. You might be wondering if your neighborhood pharmacy accepts it. The answer is yes, as long as they are a part of the partner network. Here's how you can activate this benefit the next time you pick up a prescription. Show your Costco membership card along with two specific codes, BIN 018422 and PCN Venteg, to the pharmacist. These two codes signal the system to recognize you as a Costco member and apply the corresponding discounted rate instantly, with no extra paperwork needed. If you have recurring monthly prescriptions, comparing your current pharmacy prices against the CMPP rate today could reveal savings you've been unknowingly missing out on all along. 2. The Zero Risk Guarantee Cashback Policy. Costco membership comes in two tiers: the Gold Star card at $65 a year and the Executive card at $130 a year, an exact difference of $65. The Executive card gives you 2% cash back on all your Costco purchases each year, and the question most members ask themselves is whether they shop enough for that cash back to offset the $65 upgrade cost. That's a fair question, but few people realize the answer doesn't actually matter because Costco built a mechanism to protect you in every scenario. If your 2% cashback total at the end of the year doesn't reach the $65 difference, Costco will refund you the balance in cash at customer service. Not a voucher, not store credit, real cash. Internally, this policy is called the Zero Risk Guarantee, and it completely eliminates the financial risk of upgrading your card. In other words, you literally cannot lose money by choosing the Executive membership. At worst, you break even, and at best, you earn back far more than the extra $65 you spent. Here's what to do when you receive your 2% reward check at the end of the year and see it's under $65. Take the check to the membership counter and ask the representative to process the difference. The exact phrasing you should use is, "I'd like to downgrade and get a refund for the reward difference." The representative will process it on the spot without requiring a lengthy explanation, as this is standard protocol within their system. It's just a protocol that very few members know to ask for. The Executive membership also comes with secondary benefits, such as insurance discounts, financial services, and special pricing with select partner vendors. These perks are often overlooked because they aren't prominently displayed, but for seniors with recurring medical and insurance expenses, these are real savings that are well worth reviewing. Up next is a secret at the bakery counter that Costco employees won't actively tell you. But if you ask the right question, the price of baked goods drops by up to 60%. 3. Bakery by the case, right at the bakery counter. The Costco bakery is one of the busiest areas in the entire warehouse, and most people only know one way to shop it: grab a pre-baked box off the shelf and head to checkout. That's how Costco designed it for you to buy, but it isn't the only way you can buy. Bakery employees can sell members bulk boxes of unbaked frozen items at wholesale prices, which run 40% to 60% cheaper than the pre-baked versions. We're talking a case of 204 croissant dough pieces, 120 cookie dough pucks, or a full box of frozen mini brioche rolls. This is the exact inventory the bakery uses to bake fresh every day, and members have the right to purchase it directly if they know how to ask. To me, the real-world value here goes far beyond just the dollar savings. For anyone who can't finish a huge box of fresh baked goods before they go stale, keeping raw frozen dough in your freezer lets you air fry 1 or 2 pieces a day. Your pastries are always hot, fresh, and never wasted. It's a far smarter way to buy bakery items, both financially and health-wise, compared to rushing to finish a giant tub before it spoils. Putting this into practice is simple. Walk up to the bakery counter early in the morning before employees are in the thick of the daily rush and ask directly, "Can I buy a wholesale box of frozen unbaked croissants?" Not every location handles this request the exact same way, but it is an allowable procedure in their system, and staff are authorized to fulfill it when asked correctly. 4. The meat department's secret: free custom cutting service. Costco is a wholesale warehouse chain, so they will never split pre-packaged trays into smaller portions. Everyone knows that. But there's another line that fewer people notice. Meat department staff are permitted to perform custom butchery cuts on the original whole tray you purchase, and it's completely free of charge. Specifically, you can request to have all the ribeye steaks in a tray cut in half horizontally to create thinner portions that fit family meals better. Or ask to have an entire tray of pork loin thinly sliced for quick pan searing or grilling. You can even ask them to cube a whole flank steak for stews. All of these custom cuts can be handled on the spot with zero added fee, as long as you buy the full original package. This is a benefit with clear practical value for seniors who need thinner, easier-to-chew cuts of meat that require less prep work at home, without having to pay premium prices at an outside butcher shop. Costco meat is already priced better than traditional supermarkets. Paired with free custom cutting, that value gap widens even more. However, there is one crucial detail that very few shoppers know. If you buy a whole top sirloin subprimal roast with the intention of carving out your own picanha cut at home, be aware that Costco's meat processing department strips off the cap fat completely before placing those subprimals out for sale. You won't find a picanha cap on a Costco sirloin roast, and will need to look through specialty wholesale food distributors instead. Knowing this ahead of time saves you from buying the wrong cut and facing disappointment back home. Costco just added a new option to their most famous combo without making a broad announcement. Coming up next, you'll learn how to activate it on your very next warehouse trip. 5. The 150 combo just got a new option for 2026. When was the last time you actually looked closely at the food court kiosk screen at Costco? Not just a quick glance to tap through out of habit, but really looked at it. If your answer is a while ago, then you've missed a change that Costco added in 2026 without making a broad announcement. Costco's 1 all 50 hot dog and soda combo is one of the rare things that hasn't changed in nearly 40 years. That price tag has remained frozen since 1985 while everything around it has skyrocketed, and that permanence itself has become a core part of Costco's identity. However, entering 2026, Costco added a new option without changing that $1.50 price by even a single penny. Costco now allows you to swap out the 20 Oz fountain soda for a 16 Oz bottle of Kirkland's Signature Purified Water, still at the exact same $1.50 price point. This option isn't prominently advertised at the counter, and employees won't actively bring it up, but it is available right on the self-service kiosk screen if you know where to look. The value of this change is significant. For anyone who needs to manage their daily sugar intake due to diabetes or high blood pressure, this is the difference between an enjoyable meal and one that requires calculated compromises. Furthermore, in states and cities that enforce a sugar-sweetened beverage excise tax, such as California, Philadelphia, or Seattle, choosing bottled water keeps your total at exactly $1.50 without triggering added beverage taxes. The next time you visit Costco, when you stand in front of the food court kiosk screen, pause instead of rushing through out of habit, and look for the bottled water swap option. It's right there. It just isn't designed to jump out at you on your first try. 6. Shopping at Costco without a membership card. Costco is famous for being a members-only retail chain, a rule reinforced everywhere from the signage at the entrance to the employees checking cards at the door. But there is a legitimate way to shop at Costco without a membership card, and it isn't a loophole or rule-bending trick. It is an official mechanism built directly into Costco's own operational system. The Costco Shop Card, Costco's official gift card, acts as a key that allows non-members to enter the store and make purchases as normal. Costco's standard operating policy permits anyone holding a shop card to shop, even if they aren't a member. The only caveat is that only active members have the authority to purchase or reload these cards, so you'll need a family member or friend with a membership to buy a shop card for you beforehand. You might be wondering if this is actually convenient if you still have to rely on someone else. The answer depends entirely on how often you shop at Costco. For anyone who only visits Costco a few times a year to grab specific bulk items, paying a $65 or $130 annual membership fee isn't cost-effective. Instead, asking a relative to buy a shop card with just enough funds for your trip is a much smarter approach. Shop cards never expire and can be used for warehouse purchases, Costco gas stations, and even online orders at Costco.com, so any remaining balance is never wasted. This is also the ideal way to test drive Costco before committing to an official membership. Rather than shelling out $65 for a card, only to figure out later whether you shop enough to justify the fee, you can take a few trial runs with a shop card, compare prices against your regular grocery store, and draw your own conclusions based on your own real-world experience. If you just received a vehicle maintenance estimate from your dealership, the next section will make you want to call them back today. 7. 15% off vehicle maintenance, the perk most members forget. Most Costco members know about the Costco Auto program through its new car purchasing policy, where they can access discounted dealer pricing through a partner network. But there is another part of this program that almost no one talks about and almost no one uses, even though its practical value can be significantly larger than buying a new car, which only happens once every few years. The Costco Auto program maintains a policy offering a 15% discount on vehicle maintenance and repair costs at participating authorized dealer service centers. This discount applies to parts, labor, and accessories, with a maximum savings cap of up to $500 per visit. If you regularly have your vehicle serviced at a dealership, that $500 cap represents a major savings, especially for costly maintenance items like brake replacements, $60,000 or 90,000-mile major service intervals, or suspension work. The reason this perk is so widely forgotten isn't complicated. Costco doesn't prominently promote it because it's the least profitable segment of their entire auto program. The information is on their website, but it's placed where the average user is unlikely to stumble across it without actively looking. You might be wondering if the dealership you currently use is on the partner list. The quickest way to check is to go to CostcoAuto.com, enter your vehicle details and location, and the system will display a list of the nearest authorized dealerships alongside instructions on how to generate an authorization code to claim your discount. The entire sign-up process takes less than 5 minutes, and the authorization code is issued instantly. There is a return privilege at Costco that most members don't even realize they have. And it works even if you don't hold on to a single receipt. 8. The paperless return policy. Everyone knows Costco has a generous return policy, but knowing it through word of mouth versus truly understanding how the system works are two different things, and that difference directly impacts whether you actually feel confident using this perk. Your entire purchase history is automatically stored in the system and linked directly to your membership card from your very first transaction. When you walk up to the customer service counter to make a return, all the associate needs to do is scan your membership card and your complete purchase history pops right up on their screen, including the purchase date, amount, and item code. No paper receipt required, no screenshots needed, and no need to remember the exact date of purchase. The system has already remembered all of it for you. What does this actually mean in practice? You can return an item bought months ago without searching for any paperwork. Produce that didn't meet your expectations, an appliance that didn't work as described, or simply a product that turned out not to fit your needs after trying it out. All of these can be returned through a process that takes just a few minutes at the counter. This policy applies to most merchandise with no time limit, with the exception of major electronics like TVs and laptops, which have a 90-day window. One small but important detail. If you paid with a credit card, the refund goes right back onto that exact card, without requiring you to present the physical card during the return. The system automatically identifies the original payment method and processes the refund accordingly. For people who frequently shop in bulk or love trying new products, understanding this mechanism turns the return policy from a nice concept into a powerful, valuable shopping tool in your hands. 9. Reynolds, Ito N, and Cooper Vision. They're making products for Kirkland. Kirkland's Signature is a retail brand generating over $60 billion in revenue each year, making it larger than many Fortune 500 companies. But if you ask Costco who actually manufactures Kirkland products, The official response is always silence, as manufacturers sign non-disclosure agreements with strict confidentiality clauses. Over time, however, key details have leaked out through industry investigations and inside sources themselves. Kirkland aluminum foil is manufactured by Reynolds Wrap. The #1 aluminum foil brand in the U.S. Kirkland green tea comes from Ito-En, Japan's premier tea company. Kirkland contact lenses are produced by CooperVision, one of the world's largest eyewear and contact lens corporations. Kirkland Wild Alaskan Fish Oil is made by Trident Seafoods, and Kirkland Scotch Whiskey has been sourced from the Alexander Murray and Kerber distillery since 2007. The exact same factory, the exact same production line. The only differences are the outer label and a price tag that is 20% to 30% lower. Costco achieves this by placing massive volume orders, skipping marketing payments to manufacturers, spending $0 on advertising for the Kirkland brand, and passing every bit of those savings directly onto the price tag. The manufacturer benefits from giant, steady purchase orders. Costco benefits from controlled, high-end quality. And shoppers benefit from prices that cannot be found anywhere else for that level of quality. You might be wondering if every single Kirkland product shares the exact same quality as its brand name counterpart. Not every single one, but for products with verified manufacturers like the list above, the answer is yes. The final section will expose a psychological trap that Costco intentionally designed into every corner of their warehouse. And once you realize it exists, you will never shop the same way again. 10. Exposing the psychology behind warehouse layout design. Have you ever wondered why Costco doesn't have aisle signs hanging overhead? It's not because they forgot to install them. This is an intentional design choice, and it's part of a calculated psychological framework that Costco constructed to influence your shopping behavior from the moment you walk in to the moment you leave. Costco designs its store layout based on a retail strategy known as the treasure hunt. Daily essential items that you absolutely came to buy, such as milk, eggs, and toilet paper, are placed at the deepest, farthest corners of the warehouse, forcing you to walk past rows of high-ticket display items before reaching your destination. There are no directional signs because if there were, you would walk straight to what you need, grab it, and leave. Costco doesn't want that. They want you to wander, explore, and discover items you had zero intention of buying when you walked through the door. Products stacked directly inside cut-open cardboard boxes rather than neatly arranged on standard shelves aren't done to save labor. Messy, pallet-style displays create the perception that items are selling fast, building a sense of psychological urgency that makes you want to grab them before they run out. Those oversized shopping carts aren't an accident either. They are designed so that 50 items still look sparse inside the basket, encouraging you to keep adding more without feeling like you're overbuying. Knowing this doesn't mean you should stop shopping at Costco. It simply means you shop on your own terms rather than the way Costco wants you to. Stick to a fixed list before stepping inside and head directly to the sections you need. The ideal shopping window is 30 to 45 minutes after opening on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. When foot traffic is at its lowest, aisles are clear, and you won't get swept up in the frantic energy of the crowd. Costco remains a fantastic place to shop, but it's infinitely better when you're the one in control of your trip, rather than letting the warehouse design control you. Costco has built a truly exceptional system of member perks. The thing is, they have zero obligation to remind you to use them. That part is up to you, and after watching this video, you have no reason to ever miss out again. Would you believe that the exact same Costco shopping cart from 2024 could leave you in utter shock at checkout in 2026 because your bill completely skyrocketed? It isn't just that prices have gone up. There are items that look identical to previous years, but what's inside has completely changed without anyone telling you. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. Kirkland eggs. When I pulled up my 2024 Costco receipt and compared it to what I just paid last week, the 24-count egg pack was what made me stop and stare the longest. Jumping from $3.49 to $8.15 in just 2 years, an increase of over 130%, with no sign that the old prices will return anytime soon. For many families who buy eggs out of habit every week, this isn't just a number on paper. It's a stark reality on every checkout receipt. The cause isn't Costco adjusting its profit margins. The HPAI avian flu outbreak eradicated over 136 million birds across the United States, shattering an egg supply chain that had operated smoothly for years in a row. When supply collapses that fast, no retailer has the power to hold prices down, not even Costco. Along with the price hike came a policy limiting purchases to a maximum of 3 packs per member to prevent panic buying and hoarding, something that had never happened to a staple like eggs before 2025. Looking back, even though the price has more than doubled, Costco is still selling them for less than most other supermarkets right now. While that doesn't make the total any less painful, at least it shows the increase stems from real supply chain pressure rather than the chain's pricing decisions. The more practical question is when egg prices might return closer to where they were. And the honest answer is that nobody knows for sure. Kirkland chocolate chips. Kirkland chocolate chips were a shock due to a completely different crisis, one that developed more quietly but had no less of an impact. The bag of chocolate chips I regularly sprinkle on my baking, which I bought for $11.99 back in 2024, is now sitting on the shelf at $24.99. That is an exact 100% increase, and this time, the quality inside hasn't changed at all. The entire increase comes directly from the raw ingredients. Ivory Coast and Ghana, 2 nations that account for over 60% of global cocoa production, recorded their most severe harvest failures in half a century due to extreme weather combined with diseases ravaging plantations back-to-back from 2024 into 2025. When cocoa supply becomes that scarce, doubled end product prices are a direct consequence, not an arbitrary retailer decision. Anyone who regularly buys large bags for baking or everyday use will feel this shift most acutely in their monthly budget. What is even more notable is that cocoa isn't the only commodity vulnerable in this way. Olives, coffee, and nuts all fall into the group of agricultural products heavily dependent on the climate conditions of specific growing regions, and this trend shows no signs of reversing. For those who routinely buy chocolate chips in bulk, now is the time to recalculate your real-world budget rather than waiting for prices to drop back to where they used to be. Kirkland olive oil. It's the same climate story, but Costco's response here deserves its own recognition. Kirkland extra virgin olive oil went from $20 to $25 for a 3-liter bottle or a 2-pack back in 2024, up to $34 for a single 2-liter bottle in 2026. Bumping the retail price while simultaneously shrinking the volume is not a pleasant look on paper, and I completely understand why so many users on online forums expressed utter shock when comparing it back to the 2-pack 3-liter pricing that used to run just $25 a few years ago. However, this is the part where I want to speak directly to be fair to Costco. Record-breaking droughts and heat waves back-to-back in Spain, Italy, and Greece dragged olive harvest yields down by over 50% compared to normal levels. In that climate, many commercial brands chose to blend in cheap soybean oil or sunflower oil to maintain their listed prices, something consumers rarely catch until they taste it carefully or read the fine print on the ingredient list. Costco didn't do that. They maintained their 100% cold-extracted standard and raised prices according to actual raw material costs. That was the less popular choice among consumers, but it was far more honest regarding product quality. For anyone who uses olive oil regularly in cooking or salad dressings, this remains a much more trustworthy option than cheap bottles on supermarket shelves, where you truly don't know what percentage is actual olive oil. Raising prices for real ingredients is fundamentally different from holding prices down by degrading quality. And in this instance, Costco chose the right side. There is an item on the next list where the price tag hasn't changed by a single penny. But if you do the math carefully, you are paying 33% more than you were 2 years ago without even realizing it. Kirkland toilet paper. No product on today's list has been modified in as many ways simultaneously as this pack of Kirkland toilet paper. In 2024, a 40-roll pack with 400 sheets per roll fluctuated between $17.99 and $19.99. In 2026, you paid $23.99 for 30 rolls with 380 sheets per roll. The price went up by 33%, the roll count dropped by 25%, and the sheet count per roll was cut further, all happening at once with no clear notification anywhere on the packaging. This is double shrinkflation in the truest sense of the term. The paper pulp quality also changed visibly after Costco transitioned to a cheaper raw material supplier to offset production costs. The paper is thinner, leaves lint behind after every use, and breaks down less effectively in water than the previous version. A comment on a Costco forum that garnered thousands of interactions described it as looking like you just sat on a snowball after every use because so much lint sheds off. And that really isn't an exaggeration when so many users share identical feedback in various ways. The issue doesn't stop at everyday usage experience. Paper that breaks down poorly in water poses a long-term risk of clogging plumbing systems and septic tanks, particularly for households using large quantities routinely. As for me, this is an item worth reconsidering alternatives for, rather than continuing to purchase out of habit simply because of the familiar brand name. Ziploc bags. You wouldn't notice the change unless you held two boxes from 2 different years side by side for a direct comparison. The 4-box combo pack remains priced at $13.99, exactly the same as in 2024, and the outer packaging looks virtually identical, but inside, each box has been cut from 145 bags down to 120 bags. Across the entire combo pack, you are losing exactly 100 bags compared to before without paying an extra cent. And precisely because you aren't paying extra, nobody notices. This is shrinkflation working at its absolute finest because it doesn't trigger the buyer's usual defensive reaction. No price change, no change to the main outer packaging, just reprinting a small number in the corner of the box that most shoppers don't make a habit of reading before tossing it into their cart. A 17.2% reduction in volume per purchase adds up significantly over the course of a year for families who use Ziploc bags regularly when sitting down to do the math. This is the kind of change you only discover when someone points directly at the numbers, not while standing in the supermarket aisle. Up next, I'm going to talk about a trick manufacturers frequently use to raise prices without ever getting complaints, simply because buyers don't read the small print on the packaging. Purex laundry detergent. This jug of laundry detergent is the most interesting case on today's list because they didn't hide the change. In fact, they labeled it as an upgrade. The price stays the same at $17.49, but the bottle has shrunk by roughly 20% in volume and sports a new, more concentrated label, along with a claim that it still washes the same 250 loads as before. Technically speaking, the formula was adjusted to be more concentrated, so in literal terms, they aren't lying. The issue is that the measuring cap provided with the new bottle wasn't redesigned with line markings corresponding to the new concentration. As a result, the vast majority of consumers continue measuring out of old habit, pouring more than necessary for each load, and the bottle runs out noticeably faster than the 250 load claim on the label. This is the gap between what is claimed on paper and what actually happens in real-world use, and it isn't accidental. If you still use this product, you should measure out about 20% less than your old habit, and track for yourself whether the bottle actually reaches 250 loads before buying it again next time. Hot dog and soda combo. Amidst a long list of skyrocketing numbers, this item was the one thing I found on my receipt that made me sigh with relief. $1.50. Exactly like in 2024, exactly like in 2010, and exactly like in 1985 when Costco first introduced it. 41 years without a single price adjustment, and in today's inflationary climate, that figure carries a completely different weight than it did just a few years ago. This isn't the result of operational efficiency or cheaper ingredients. Costco intentionally accepts millions of dollars in losses every year on this item in exchange for something far more important to a retail chain built on membership fees: trust. When everything around you is going up in price, that unchanging $1.50 price tag becomes an emotional anchor. Something that reminds people why they pay their $65 annual membership fee without Costco having to offer any further explanation. In 2026, Costco installed digital membership card scanners at the food court to block non-members from buying these loss leader items, a move that protects their profit margins without having to touch the $1.50 price point. One user shared that they can still feed their entire family of 5 a full meal for under $12 at the food court before loading their cart, and that is an experience no other supermarket in America can compete with right now. As for me, this is one of the few things Costco has done, and continues to do, right, in a way that shoppers can truly feel every single time they stop by. Bakery muffins. Bakery section muffins were an item I used to toss into my cart on almost every trip, until the last time I picked up a box and tried counting them again. In 2024, the combo came with 12 large muffins split into two 6-count boxes for $9.99. What many people like to do was mix and match two different flavors according to preference. A small perk, but a major reason the Costco bakery stood out compared to packaged bread at regular supermarkets. In 2026, the pack has been reduced to 8 smaller-sized muffins, with the price fluctuating between $9.99 and $10.99, and the option to select different flavors is completely gone. Losing both quantity and that perk simultaneously is a far more frustrating type of change than a straightforward price hike, as it cuts away the personalized experience that set this bakery section apart. The batter quality has also drawn complaints for being drier, with a strange aftertaste compared to the old version, and unless you put them in the fridge right away, they spoil significantly faster. The true value per dollar spent has dropped sharply compared to 2 years ago, even if the number on the price sign doesn't look much different. Coming up next is a food court item whose listed price hasn't changed from 2024 to today, but what's inside is completely different. And this is the change I found most disappointing in this entire video. Chicken bake. This is the change I found most disappointing on the entire list this time around. Not because of the price, but because of how it was carried out. The chicken bake has held steady at $3.99 from 2024 to today, keeping the same name and the exact same exterior appearance. However, the internal filling has been completely reformulated. The generous portion of juicy diced chicken breast used previously has been replaced by a pasty, finely minced chicken blend. The bacon content has been reduced, and there is less Caesar sauce inside, resulting in a dry interior and a baked cheese crust that turns out hard or crumbly depending on the batch. Costco appears to have taken this route to defend the psychological $3.99 price point against rising ingredient costs. A decision that makes sense from a business standpoint, but represents a direct compromise on product quality without prior notice to buyers. I tried it again a few times after hearing feedback from many people, and the results were consistent. It's simply no longer an item I'm willing to stand in line for at the food court. For longtime fans of the chicken bake, it's worth trying once more to judge for yourself before continuing to buy it out of habit. Kirkland chicken breasts and thighs. The price increase from $3.49–$3.99 per pound in 2024 to $3.99–$4.49 per pound in 2026 isn't a figure that makes many people pause when looking at their receipt. But if you've recently noticed that Kirkland chicken breasts are tougher, harder to marinate, and missing that natural sweetness they used to have, you are far from the only one noticing it. The phenomenon known as woody breast is appearing much more frequently in Kirkland chicken breast trays. The fibrous, tough muscle tissue and its inability to absorb seasonings are direct results of chickens being forced to gain weight too quickly in industrial farming operations to meet high-volume demands. Users on online forums describe recent chicken breasts as extremely unpalatable even when cooked properly, while trays of boneless chicken thighs contain an excessive amount of untrimmed fat, forcing you to discard a large portion before cooking. Paying more for lower quality is a situation that simply cannot be defended. For families buying chicken in bulk for weekly meal prep, this is a clear reason to reconsider options, especially as alternatives from competing chains become increasingly competitive in the exact same price bracket. Rotisserie chicken? The $4.99 rotisserie chicken is one of the main reasons many people stop by Costco, even without planning to, and that price tag has remained unchanged from 2024 to 2026. What has changed is that the familiar rigid plastic clamshell container was replaced by a fully sealed flexible Mylar bag, and Costco offered very specific reasons for this decision. Switching to flexible bags reduces plastic consumption by 75%, equivalent to 17 million pounds of plastic per year, cuts over 1,000 truck transport trips, and reduces CO2 emissions into the environment by 4,000 tons. In terms of sustainability, this is a step with genuine substance. However, when you bring the chicken home, the story involves a few extra details that not everyone is prepared for. The flexible bag leaks grease into your car easily during transport. The oily surface makes it hard to handle, and some users have expressed concern over microplastic risks when the bag makes direct contact with the hot meat, even though there is no official scientific conclusion regarding the actual level of risk. The meat quality and chicken weight remain unchanged, so in terms of food value, nothing has been altered. This is a case where the underlying motivation is clear and sensible, But the actual buyer experience comes down to whether or not you prepare an extra carrying bag before heading out to the parking lot. Coming up next, I'll talk about an item Costco removed from the shelves and replaced with a new product under a different name. But if you calculate the actual price per unit, buyers are paying over 100% more without even realizing it. Kirkland Bacon. Not every price increase at Costco stems from internal decisions, and Kirkland fully cooked sliced bacon is the clearest example of that on today's list. Going from $11 to $13 in 2024 up to $15.99 to $17.01 in 2026 represents an increase of roughly 25% to 30% depending on the time of purchase. There is no shrinkflation and no ingredient reformulation, just pressure from the nationwide raw pork market, where prices hit a record peak of $6.70 per pound due to continuously rising feed and energy costs throughout this period. Costco had few choices other than passing a portion of that pressure onto retail prices, and in terms of reasoning, it is completely understandable. What is more noteworthy is the real-world impact on buyers. The price gap between Kirkland Bacon and traditional supermarkets is gradually narrowing. The very gap that was once the primary reason many people chose to buy it here over anywhere else. When that advantage is no longer as clear-cut as before, the practical question becomes whether this item still holds enough justification to stay on your routine shopping list. And everyone will have a different answer depending on the exact price difference at their local warehouse. Kirkland Purified Water. In today's entire list, this is the single item where I look at the increase and feel little need for further deep analysis. The 40-bottle case went from $3.99 up to $4.53, a $0.54 increase, stemming from PET resin production costs for the bottle shells and overland freight charges, both of which are real-world costs rising alongside market trends rather than a margin optimization decision. Breaking it down, each bottle still runs only around 0.11, whereas a 12-bottle case from premium bottled water brands at regular supermarkets currently ranges from $20 to $23. That gap is large enough that the 0.54 increase changes nothing regarding its relative value when placed alongside alternative options. User forums document a price history creeping up step by step from $2.79 to $2.99, then $3.99, and now $4.53. But the majority still view this as the ultimate everyday bargain because no equivalent option exists at a comparable price point in the current market. This is one of the few items on today's list where the answer remains: go ahead and buy it. No second thoughts needed. Up next is a type of change that isn't shrinkflation and isn't a reformulation. Yet buyers are still paying over 100% more for the exact same need without realizing it, simply because the old product has completely vanished. Country French bread. The 2-pack of Country French bread for $5.99 was an item I didn't even realize had vanished until I went looking for it and couldn't find it on the shelf anymore. When I asked an associate, I was pointed to the adjacent shelf, which was displaying a single-loaf rustic Italian bread for $6.99, a completely new item under a different name. At first glance, it just looks like one type of bread replacing another with a $1 price difference, nothing particularly noteworthy. But when you calculate the actual price per loaf, it's a completely different story. In 2024, you paid $5.99 for 2 loaves, which was $3 per loaf. In 2026, you pay $6.99 for a single loaf, meaning the price per loaf has jumped by over 133% without any announcement whatsoever regarding this change. This is SKU substitution, the tactic of removing an old product code and replacing it with a new one to prevent direct price comparisons. And it works effectively precisely because buyers have no reason to hold up 2-year-old receipts side by side. This is the hardest type of change to catch on today's entire list because it leaves no obvious trace on the price tag or packaging. The old product disappears, the new product appears under a different name and price, and unless you buy it often enough to notice the old item's absence, you will almost certainly miss the real price hike hiding behind it. Rotisserie Chicken Caesar Salad. The Caesar salad at the food court back in 2024 was a $3.99 item featuring romaine lettuce and dressing, enough to serve as a side dish, but no one considered it a main meal. The 2026 version at $6.99 adds a generous portion of shredded rotisserie chicken breast, a change you notice the very first time you open the container without needing to compare it to the old version. A 75% increase is a noticeable figure, but the fundamental nature of the product has shifted into an entirely different category. Where it used to be a side, It is now a complete high-protein main meal for one person, aligning with the healthy and convenient dining trends many shoppers are looking for when stopping by the food court after a long shopping trip. User feedback has been positive and remarkably consistent, with many sharing that the $3 increase is fully worth it because the added rotisserie chicken is flavorful and far more filling than the old version. After a long list of changes where buyers receive less or pay more for the exact same quality, the Caesar salad is an example showing that price hikes accompanied by genuine upgrades do still happen and are still welcomed positively when buyers feel a real difference the very first time they try it. Inflation is a reality, but being a smart consumer is your choice. Consider switching to product lines that maintain stable quality and price, and recognize shrinkflation tactics before tossing items into your cart. Which item do you feel has undergone the most unreasonable price hike? Leave a comment down below. Costco just dropped a batch of new arrivals this month, and my cart is completely packed. Many of these incredible bargains are disappearing from shelves in just a few hours. But not everything new is worth your hard-earned money. I walked the floor, inspected every single item closely, and I'm going to tell you straight up which ones you should grab immediately and which ones you should leave behind. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. 1. Greek pasta with rotisserie chicken. If you're a regular at the Costco deli counter, you'll remember this Greek pasta salad. It vanished over 2 years ago, and so many people kept complaining in the comments every time I mentioned the refrigerated section. Now it's back, and this version isn't just the old one warmed over. Costco added shredded rotisserie chicken to the original recipe, transforming a simple pasta salad into a complete meal. You get pasta, chicken, fresh tomatoes, feta, black olives, red onions, and large cuts of artichoke hearts served up authentic Mediterranean style. The dressing is crisp and tangy with a light creaminess that won't feel heavy on your stomach, even if you eat a big portion. What I really love about this dish is that it requires zero cooking. On hot summer days when you don't want to turn on the stove or microwave, you just bring it home, open it up, and eat. At around $13 to $15 a tray, it breaks down to under $5 per serving packed with protein and veggies. If you see it in stock, don't hesitate, because this item is famous for selling out super fast whenever it appears. 2. Bella Foldable Griddle. Right next to the housewares section, the Bella Foldable Electric Griddle is sitting there with a $40 price tag that made me double-check to make sure I read it right. I really appreciate the dual independent heat zone design on a single cooktop surface. You can fry eggs on low heat on one side while searing meat on high heat on the other. Simultaneous, zero waiting around. The ceramic-coated surface is non-toxic and spacious enough to whip up breakfast for the whole family at once. When you're done, just fold it up and store it away without taking over your entire countertop. For families that regularly cook large weekend breakfasts or host outdoor meals on the patio, $40 for an appliance that does this much is a number that's hard to complain about. Similar griddles from other brands usually range from $70 to $90. After bringing it home and using it for a week, you'll ask yourself why you didn't buy it sooner. 3. Starbucks K-Cups. At the end of every summer, Starbucks' Holiday Blend K-Cups make their reappearance, and many shoppers buy them purely out of habit because of the recognizable name. This year is no exception, and I want to be direct before you toss $45 into your cart. The issue isn't the brand name. The issue is that the flavor profile of these K-Cups has been declining season after season. Customers who have been buying them for years all notice it. The coffee just isn't as rich, bold, or well-rounded as it used to be. At $45 for 72 pods, you're paying more for less, and that holiday blend label at this point feels more like a nostalgia tax than a guarantee of quality. If you drink a lot of coffee every day, take a look at the sales on Kirkland Signature Espresso Roast K-Cups right at Costco instead. Same pod format, significantly lower price, and a quality level that won't let you down. Or invest in a bag of fresh whole beans to grind yourself. It's both more aromatic and far more economical in the long run. There's one item in the deli section this month that I saw people standing in line for early in the morning. Not rotisserie chicken, not pizza. And the reason makes complete sense once you hear the price. 4. Asian rotisserie chicken wrap. This isn't a completely new item, but it was gone long enough that its return feels like reuniting with an old friend. The Asian wrap belongs to the seasonal deli lineup, and every time it appears, it sells out faster than the time before. A soft spinach tortilla wraps around shredded rotisserie chicken, crispy chow mein noodles, shredded cabbage, and sliced almonds. The included grapefruit lime dressing is what ties all those ingredients together in a way you wouldn't expect to work, but it works exceptionally well. The textural contrast within a single wrap is its greatest strength: soft, crunchy, rich, and mildly tangy all at once. A tray of 4 large wraps runs around $16 to $17, meaning a completely filling lunch wrap costs only about $4. With ingredients at that quality level, I see zero reason to complain about the price. Bringing it home to keep in the fridge and eating it over 2 days is how many people handle this tray. 5. Honey Sesame Salmon Bowl. Another brand new product currently sitting in the freezer section, and I have to admit I was initially quite skeptical of these superfood bowl types because they usually look better than they taste. But this one is different. A base of brown rice and quinoa is mixed with green beans, broccoli, asparagus, and fairly generous bite-sized seared salmon cubes, not the salmon scraps you typically see in cheap prepackaged meals. The honey sesame sauce is light and mild, without being so overly sweet that it overpowers the fish. Each serving provides 17 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber, enough to keep you full until your next meal without feeling heavy. What I appreciate most is the $16 price tag for a box of 4 servings, breaking down to $4 per meal containing real salmon. If you frequently come home tired from work and don't want to think about cooking, this is something you should keep stocked in the freezer. Microwave it for a few minutes, drizzle a bit of soy sauce or sriracha if you prefer a bolder flavor, and dinner is done in 5 minutes. All 4 of the items above are well worth the money. But coming up, I'm going to talk about a product where the packaging looks very convincing, the name sounds very trendy, but the taste is completely different from what you would expect. 6. Plant-based protein powder. Vanilla chai-flavored plant-based protein powder, priced at $30 for a 2.7 lb tub. On paper, this sounds like a great deal for anyone looking for a bulk source of plant protein. The issue lies in the aftertaste. After finishing it, a subtle bitter flavor and a chalky, gritty mouthfeel linger even when mixed with a high-speed blender. The chai spice aroma comes through quite harsh, to the point that when you try blending it with bananas or strawberries for a smoothie, the fruit flavor gets completely overpowered. The result is a drink consumed out of obligation rather than enjoyment. I understand why people get drawn in. A big tub, a reasonable price, and a brand that looks trustworthy. But with bulk protein powder, buying the wrong flavor leaves you stuck with 2.7 lbs of a drink you don't enjoy for weeks. If you want to try plant-based protein at Costco, stick to basic vanilla or traditional chocolate flavors. They are much easier to mix with everything and carry far less risk. 7. 7 Sundays cereal. This is something that made me genuinely happy to see on the Costco shelves this month. 7 Sundays isn't a new name in the clean cereal industry, but this banana, chocolate, and peanut butter flavor combination is a version I've been waiting on for quite a while. The ingredients are extremely minimal. No palm oil, no artificial flavors, and 6 grams of protein per serving. The rich, nutty flavor of peanut butter and cacao blend together in a way that regular sweet cereals can never achieve because they use artificial flavorings instead of real ingredients. It comes in a resealable Ziploc bag at $13.49 for 20 Oz. You can eat it with milk the traditional way, sprinkle it over unsweetened yogurt, layer it into a parfait, or simply grab a handful to snack on while watching a movie. At that price tag compared to the quality of the ingredients, this is the kind of product where once you finish the first bag, you'll find yourself wondering if Costco still has it in stock. 8. Kewpie Sriracha Mayo. The new Sriracha version appearing at Costco this month combines Kewpie's signature rich egg yolk base with the savory, tangy heat of Sriracha peppers. It yields a nice light orange color with a smooth, velvety texture that doesn't separate. At under $7 for a large squeeze bottle, this is a price point you won't find at Asian supermarkets where smaller bottles of Kewpie often sell for the same price or more. Use it as a dipping sauce for fried foods, spread it on sandwiches, serve it with sushi rolls, or add it to anything that needs extra depth of flavor beyond basic heat. This is one condiment I consider well worth trying. Coming up next is a new item from the bakery section that looks gorgeous and smells incredible. But there is one small detail I think you should know before buying. 9. Seasonal fruit pastry tray. The Costco bakery section always knows how to draw customers in with trays of freshly baked aromatic pastries. The newly launched mixed fruit pastry tray looks exceptionally appealing for afternoon tea. We are talking about a summer fruit pastry tray featuring 20 pieces for $9.99. The real issue is that this pastry tray has a very unforgiving shelf life. On day 1, the puff pastry crust is flaky, crisp, and wonderfully airy. By day 2, the fruit jam filling starts seeping outward, turning the pastry soft and chewy. This isn't a flaw on Costco's part. It's simply the natural behavior of puff pastry. But with a 20-piece tray, it becomes a real problem for a household of 2 to 4 people. Unless you are hosting a large gathering and guaranteed to finish it the same day, bringing this tray home usually ends with half of it going to waste because the pastries lose their quality by the next morning. $9.99 looks cheap, but it isn't cheap if you end up eating only half. Consider the size of your household before placing it in your cart. 10. Ninja Crush IQ Blender. This month, Ninja hit Costco shelves with an updated version of their Crush IQ line, featuring new packaging and upgraded blending power compared to the older generation. Priced at $80 for a 72 Oz capacity from a brand like Ninja, I evaluate this as a very strong value, as you rarely see this same capacity under $100 to $110 anywhere else on the market. The most practical feature I found is that the 72 Oz pitcher is spacious enough to blend a batch of smoothies for the entire family without having to split it into 2 rounds. The Crush IQ motor handles ice cubes quickly and smoothly, and the controls are so simple you can use it right out of the box. It isn't the kind of appliance where you have to waste a whole morning reading the user manual. A quick insider tip before you head to the checkout counter. Swing by the clearance section to see if your local warehouse still has the older model marked down at a manager special clearance price. The features don't differ by much compared to the new version, but the price can be significantly lower, which is how many savvy shoppers score a Ninja blender at the best possible price at Costco. 11. Nut milk maker. Also in the kitchen appliance section this month, sitting right next to the Ninja, is an automatic nut milk maker for $120 that I want to talk a bit more about before you let that price tag convince you. I understand why it's appealing. The trend of making nut milk at home is on the rise, and the machine looks quite modern on the shelf. However, there are 2 practical issues I want you to know about upfront. The operational noise is louder than I would expect for a $120 appliance. More importantly, the fixed blade at the bottom of the pitcher, along with its small crevices, makes it very difficult to clean completely unless you wash it immediately after use. Once milk residue dries, it's a whole different story. If your kitchen already has a Ninja or any high-powered blender, simply adding a cloth strainer bag for a few dollars will yield nut milk that tastes just as good, without spending $120 or taking up extra counter space. This is a case where a single-use appliance doesn't actually perform better than the multi-purpose equipment you already own. Coming up next is an electronic device that I was truly surprised to see at that price point at Costco, the type of product where you would normally have to spend over 30% more anywhere else. 12. Sony Bravia Soundbar. This is the biggest surprise in the electronics section this month. The Sony Bravia Theater appeared without warning, replacing the mid-range soundbar models from the previous round, and the $250 price tag for a soundbar bundled with a wireless subwoofer from Sony is a figure that forced me to double-check the price tag once more. The bass is deep, and the audio quality is noticeably richer compared to standalone soundbars without a sub in the same price bracket. The design is sleek and minimalist, making connection a breeze. What really caught my attention is that similar quality Sony soundbar and subwoofer packages on the market rarely drop below $350 to $400, even during major sales. One detail I really appreciate is that Costco lets you test the audio in-store before deciding, so you don't have to buy based on online reviews and hope for the best when you get home. With soundbars and subwoofers, listening on the spot is always the most reliable method. If you are looking to upgrade your home theater system without dipping into a $500+ budget, now is a great time to check it out. Items that show up unannounced usually vanish unannounced just as quickly. 13. Gavi Smart LED. Gavi Smart bulbs at $40 for a 6-pack, app-controlled with unlimited color customization. It sounds very enticing on paper, and I completely see why so many people drop it into their carts when they spot it. The issue is that I have seen enough feedback on smart bulbs in this price range at Costco to tell you straight up. Unstable network connectivity is an inherent flaw. Initial setup on 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi bands frequently hits errors and takes much longer than normal, and the bulbs still tend to drop offline on their own after you've finished installing them. For a basic lighting fixture, spending half your evening resetting connections is not an experience worth $40. What makes it worse is that this issue isn't a user setup error, but a physical limitation of the connectivity chips used in lower-tier smart bulbs. That means, even if you follow every step correctly, the lights will still periodically go offline and force you into the app to reset them. If you genuinely want to build a dependable smart home system, look for central hub solutions supported by Matter or Zigbee standards. Spend a little extra so you don't have to wrestle with your connections every week. 14. Insta360 8K Gimbal. $700 for a dual-lens 8K shooting device. And I want to make it clear right away, this is not a bad product. Insta360 is a reputable brand with top-tier features, and if you are a professional content creator who needs 8K stabilization, this is exactly what you need. However, Costco is not a professional filmmaking camera shop, and placing a $790 price tag in a family shopping environment creates a trap that is very easy to fall into simply because it looks cool. The reality is that a modern smartphone paired with a standard gimbal costing around $80 to $120 can handle 90% of the shooting needs for most people, including travel, family events, or everyday social media content. Before dropping $770, ask yourself very honestly, do you actually need 8K or are you just drawn to that number? If you can't tell the difference between 4K and 8K on your current screen, you don't need to spend $770 on this yet. Put those funds towards something else on this month's list that offers better value. Up next, I'm also going to talk about a sports accessory whose price at Costco is significantly lower than specialized brands, while offering far superior versatility. 15. Reed diffusers. I am not usually someone who pays attention to the home decor section, but I stopped to look at this Reed diffuser set because of the price. 3 fairly intricately designed glass bottles, 3 different scents, for $19. This is one of the highest perceived value housewarming or holiday gift options Costco has this month. Anyone receiving it won't be able to guess the price, as the design and glass bottle quality look on par with items selling for $15 to $20 per bottle at specialty gift shops. Sample scents are available right at the display so you don't have to buy blind, something many online retailers can't offer. Its long-lasting scent projection over several months is another noteworthy point. This isn't the kind of Reed diffuser where the scent evaporates after a few weeks, leaving behind a useless decorative piece. At $19 for the entire 3-bottle set, this is one of those items this month where the perceived value is far higher than its actual price. If you need something compact, elegant, and unlike a typical supermarket gift, this is an option worth picking up. 16. Pickleball bag. Pickleball has been the fastest growing sport in the US over the last few years, and Costco added a notable accessory this month for $50. It isn't a paddle, nor is it balls, but a bag with what I find to be a very clever design. The external paddle compartment detaches completely, transforming it into a standard travel or gym bag. It includes a luggage strap, several convenient small pockets, and a complimentary keychain. I really appreciate this feature because specialized sports bags can usually only be used for a single purpose, whereas this one works in various settings without looking out of place. Comparable professional sports brand bags usually run around $80 to $120. At $50 with significantly higher versatility, this is the kind of deal regular pickleball players will recognize the value of immediately. For beginners, it's also a smarter way to invest rather than buying an expensive specialized bag before you even know if you'll stick with the sport long-term. 17. Singing Machine Karaoke. The Singing Machine tabletop karaoke unit was absent from Costco shelves for nearly 2 years and just made its return with fully upgraded software. I'm quite impressed with the feature set at the $200 price point. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 2 wireless microphones with dedicated charging docks, and a singing app featuring competitive scoring among participants. The design is more compact than traditional standing karaoke systems, making it easy to carry out to the patio or move from room to room without needing multiple people to lift it. The detail I appreciate most is the price. Systems with comparable features on the market are rarely under $300, and many don't even include wireless microphones at that price. The app's competitive scoring feature turns ordinary gatherings into an activity the whole family actually wants to participate in, rather than just sitting around watching one person sing. If your family regularly hosts get-togethers, or if you're looking for a holiday gift that gets everyone involved, this is an investment with a much longer functional lifespan than single-use consumer items. 18. Lego Netflix and 4D puzzles. The toy aisle at Costco stocked up at just the right time this month with 2 product lines that I think will vanish before many people even notice. The Netflix-themed Lego sets include the 5 7-piece one-piece set and the 8 25-piece K-pop Demon Hunters set at $57 each, alongside 30 the 4D puzzles featuring the Eiffel Tower, Pokemon, and Spider-Man. Anyone who has ever bought Lego knows one thing. Costco is always 15% to 20% cheaper than the official Lego store or other retailers. On licensed theme sets like One Piece or K-pop, that percentage difference translates into a non-trivial amount of actual cash savings. If you've been waiting, now is the most sensible time of the year to pull the trigger, because as the holiday season approaches, these prices won't stick around. As for the 4D puzzles at $30, they are a great option for anyone looking for something fun to do with the family over the weekend without spending much. Both the Eiffel Tower and Pokemon sets offer just the right level of complexity for adults and older kids to work on together without anyone feeling left behind. If you spot a theme that you or a loved one enjoys, toss it into your cart first and think later. My experience with Lego at Costco is that there are no second chances. Costco always has items that are genuinely worth buying and items that only look worth buying. This month's list is no exception. Make sure to write down your list before heading out and prioritize the fresh deli products or the shocker electronics deals this round. Wishing you a successful deal hunting trip while keeping your household budget fully intact. This August, starred price tags are quietly popping up all across Costco, signaling 35 clearance deals with bottom dollar markdowns. Get your shopping cart ready because today's list features incredible bargains you definitely won't want to miss. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. 1. TCL 85-inch TV. This month, if you're walking past the electronics section at Costco and spot a handwritten price sign showing $600 right below an 85-inch TV, don't bother rubbing your eyes. It's the real deal. This TCL 85-inch model just received a Manager Special tag, meaning the store manager personally cut the price to clear floor space, bypassing the corporate pricing system. The original price was over $100, and bringing it down to $600 is a deal that hasn't been seen in the 85-inch TV segment for a very long time. With built-in Google TV or Roku smart systems, even those who aren't tech-savvy can start using it on night one without needing to call their kids for help. If you have a spacious living room and your family frequently gathers to watch movies or weekend sports, this is a price point that's nearly impossible to find anywhere else at this time of year. 2. Blackstone Griddle. This is an item many people miss because they don't pay attention to the seasonal outdoor section. The Blackstone Griddle, originally priced at $400, has been slashed straight down to $250 by managers at select locations to clear floor space before fall and winter inventory starts rolling in. It features a thick steel cooktop that delivers even heat distribution with no hot spots. It's the exact type of griddle serious outdoor cooks have been using for years with zero intention of switching to anything else. Because it's a manager special, quantities per location are usually down to just 1 or 2 units. If you swing by and the shelf is empty, don't hesitate to ask an associate if there's any stock left in the back, as they sometimes haven't had time to move it out to the floor yet. A $150 discount on a dedicated outdoor griddle at the end of summer is a rare window of opportunity that usually won't come around again until next spring. 3. Sanctuary Safe. A safe isn't the first thing people think of when they hear Costco clearance, but that's precisely why this is one of the most noteworthy deals this week. The Sanctuary brand is marking down two sizes at the same time. The medium model drops from $349.99 down to $260, a $90 savings. The large model goes from $799.99 down to $580, saving you over $220. Both models offer 60-minute fire protection at 1,400 degrees, strong water resistance, a high-security electronic lock, and automatic interior LED lighting. One thing you should plan for in advance. These units are quite heavy, so arrange for extra help or an appropriate vehicle before heading out so you don't waste a trip. Coming up next is a TV whose display unit price at Costco was so much lower than Amazon's price that I had to double-check it twice before believing it. 4. Samsung 55-inch OLED TV. Here is a deal where you need to look at the plain facts before getting too excited. The Samsung 55-inch OLED, model S90F, is a top-of-the-line display featuring true absolute blacks, a high refresh rate perfect for both movies and gaming, and a frame as thin as a sheet of glass. The newer model lists at $1,800, and this specific unit is marked down to $1,400 because it's a store display model. The issue is that display model means this TV has been running continuously for hours on end every single day throughout its time on the floor. For an OLED panel, that raises valid questions regarding long-term screen lifespan. Therefore, before dropping $1,400, make sure to carefully inspect the screen surface under direct lighting for scratches or dead pixels. Clarify whether additional warranty coverage through Allstate or SquareTrade remains valid, and negotiate for an extra discount if you spot any minor defects. 5. LG 32-inch 4K monitor. If you are still using a 24-inch monitor from years ago and work from home every day, this is the time to upgrade without overthinking it. The LG Ultrafine 32-inch 4K IPS monitor, which hovered around $300 to $320 during product shortages, is now down to $249.97 in this clearance round. The IPS panel delivers wide viewing angles and true-to-life colors no matter where you sit in the room. That matters not just for photo editors, but for anyone who spends long hours in front of a screen every day. At its current price, this is the absolute best value 32-inch 4K monitor you can find in a retail store right now. 6. Shark Flex Fusion. The Shark Flex Fusion just got a clearance price tag ending in $97, dropped by $70 down to $279.97 because Shark recently launched its next generation and Costco is clearing out display space. As for quality, Shark's smart airflow styling technology holds styles well, without causing heat damage like conventional tools. That part is unquestionable. However, if your need isn't truly urgent, hold off just a bit longer. As inventory drops down to the last few units, the system is very likely to mark it down one step further to clear the stock completely. A better deal might be just a few weeks away. 7. Oral-B IO toothbrush. The Oral-B IO is a familiar name to anyone whose dentist has mentioned it. Its magnetic micro-vibration technology operates noticeably quieter than standard electric toothbrushes, paired with an automatic pressure sensor that alerts you when you brush too hard to protect your gums long-term. Costco is offering an instant $30 off at the register for the 2-pack, bringing it down to $139.99. That breaks down to roughly $70 per handle, whereas buying a single unit individually elsewhere usually runs $100 or more. Coming up next, I'll talk about an item whose price at Costco today is even cheaper than its sale price a few weeks ago at another store. Now that's what you call a real deal. 8. Kohler Sink with Faucet. This is a deal where I want you to stop and do the math for a second. The Kohler Dual Mount Double Bowl Kitchen Sink set originally ranged from $250 to $300, but a manager special is dragging it straight down to $150. You get a high-end stainless steel sink that can be installed top-mount or under-mount depending on your countertop setup. And it comes bundled with a modern Kohler pull-down faucet that sells separately on the market for $100 to $150 on its own. Working backward, you're essentially getting a Kohler-branded sink for practically free. For households planning a kitchen remodel in the near future, it's hard to find a better starting point than this price point. Nega Moon Faucet. Under $30 for a Moen-branded faucet is a statement you normally would never hear at any hardware store. The listed price was $70, and this clearance round slashes it straight down to $29.97. a discount of over 57%. What sets Mo apart is its lifetime warranty in the US, meaning if the faucet ever has an issue, no matter how many years pass, they will replace or repair it for free with no questions asked. It includes an integrated deck plate, can be installed on either one-hole or three-hole sinks, and comes in two color choices, brushed nickel or matte black. If you are planning a bathroom remodel over the next few months, buying this ahead of time at this price and storing it away is a completely sensible move. 10. Pyrex 18-piece glass storage set. The Snapware Pyrex 18-piece glass storage set is marked down $5 to $19.99. It sounds simple, but this is the kind of product where once you make the switch, you'll ask yourself why you used plastic containers for so long. Pyrex glass doesn't absorb odors and doesn't stain after repeated uses in the microwave or oven, and the 4-latch locking lids create an airtight seal far better than most standard plastic containers. 9 containers with matching lids for $19.99 is a reasonable price to overhaul your entire kitchen food storage system all at once, rather than buying individual pieces elsewhere at much higher prices. Up next is a kitchen item whose brand carries a warranty policy that puts most other companies to shame, and today's price is under $30. 11. Lodge Cast Iron Griddle. Lodge is an American cast iron brand that has been around for over 125 years, and there's no reason to change when a product continues to perform well across generations. This double-sided griddle drops from $29.99 down to $19.97 during the August clearance event. One flat side is used for frying eggs or searing, while the reverse side features raised ridges specially designed for grilling steaks with signature grill marks. Cast iron retains heat better than any other material, and the more you use it, the more naturally non-stick the surface becomes over time. You can place it on a gas stove, an outdoor grill, or over campfire coals. 12. Kangshan 17-piece knife set. The Kangshan Denali series knife set drops from $199.99 down to $139.97, saving you $60 in this clearance round. Forged from solid German steel with a full tang design and high standard hardness, they hold their sharp edge for a very long time between sharpenings. The handles feel substantial and well-balanced during extended use, and the set comes with an elegant wooden block that keeps your kitchen counter tidy. A high-end kitchen knife set from Kangshan at under $140 is an extremely rare discount. 13. Prep and Serve 4-piece baking dish set. This 4-piece heat-resistant ceramic baking dish set drops from $16.99 down to $9.97. And what makes it truly useful is its convenient single-serving size. Instead of using a large baking dish for 1 or 2 people and having to wash a stack of dishes, these small bakeware pieces go straight into the oven and then directly to the dining table without needing extra plates. The ceramic material is highly heat-resistant, easy to clean, and durable enough for year-round use. At $9.97 for the entire set of 4, this is a small investment with anything but small convenience. 14. Denmark 4-piece porcelain bowl set. It breaks down to less than $1.75 per porcelain bowl from the brand Denmark Tools for Cooks. The original price was $12.99, and this clearance round drags it down to $6.97. The deep bowl design is suitable for both soups and piping hot stews, and the elegant white porcelain glaze is both microwave and dishwasher safe. As the weather begins to turn and hot bowls of soup become what the whole family craves, this is the time to add a few good bowls to your collection without thinking twice about your budget. 15. 8-piece acrylic tumbler set. 8 acrylic tumblers that look as crystal clear as glass, but without the worry of shattering, are reduced by nearly half, from $15.99 down to $6.97. The lightweight material is safe around the pool area or patio, making it especially handy for outdoor gatherings where you don't want to bring out real glassware. A handy quick tip to keep in mind is to prioritize hand washing over the dishwasher to keep the tumbler surface shining bright for longer. Up next is an accessory set that, if you were to buy each piece individually at Home Depot or Lowe's, you definitely couldn't find at this price point even on sale. 16. Lazy Susan tray set. The Lazy Susan rotating tray set made of premium melamine plastic drops from $19.99 down to $12.97. The thick melamine is sturdier than standard plastic, scratch-resistant, and impact-tolerant, featuring convenient fitted lids for backyard parties or serving snacks at the table. This is the kind of houseware that, once you own it, you won't understand why you didn't buy it sooner. And at $12.97, there's no reason to pass it up. 17. Trinity 5-tier wire shelving rack. This Trinity Industrial 5-tier wire rack was pushed up toward $120 during the peak of inflation, and this week the price tag officially snapped in half down to $59.97. The thick chrome-plated steel frame features an impressive load-bearing wire mesh construction, with each shelf supporting hundreds of pounds without warping or bowing. $60 for a set of industrial steel shelving measuring 48/18 72 inches is the signal to pull the trigger. 18. Landia 6-piece bathroom hardware set. The Landia 6-piece bathroom hardware set in nickel drops from $39.99 down to $19.97, a flat 50% discount. The complete set includes 2 long towel bars, a toilet paper holder, 2 robe hooks, and a hand towel ring, all matching in a sleek nickel metal finish. Finding a substantial 6-piece metal hardware set for $20 at Home Depot or Lowe's is nearly impossible even during sales. Coming up next, I'll talk about a grill whose markdown alone is enough for you to buy quite a few other items on today's list combined. 19. Trinity Bamboo Shoe Rack. The Trinity 2-pack bamboo shoe rack drops from $59.99 down to $39.97, breaking down to just $20 for a handsome natural bamboo rack, a very reasonable price point. Bamboo is lightweight yet durable with great moisture resistance, and the design allows you to place them side by side or stack them into a tall 4-tier rack depending on your needs. Interestingly, many families don't just use it for shoes in the entryway. They also set it up as a bookshelf or a small plant stand on the patio, and it honestly looks just as good as racks sold specifically for those purposes. 20. Gourmet Basics 4-piece storage basket set. A 50% discount dropping the price from $19.99 to $9.97 is a rare markdown for a quality metal storage basket set. The breathable wire mesh frame keeps items inside from collecting moisture and mold, while the 2 subtle gray and cream color tones blend easily into almost any space. Getting 4 baskets for under $10 is why many shoppers pick up an extra backup set without feeling any regret. 21. Elements Ceramic Vase Set. Refreshing the atmosphere in your home doesn't always have to cost a lot of money. The Elements Ceramic Vase set features 3 different modern pattern styles, crafted from thick, substantial ceramic that feels far sturdier than its $14.97 price tag suggests. Fall is right around the corner, and I think this is a time when a small tweak in your decor makes a bigger difference than you might expect. 22. Disney Doormat. The Disney Print Welcome Mat, originally priced at $14.99, is down to $9.97. The mat features Disney's signature warm patterns, a non-slip rubber backing with solid floor grip, and enough durability to withstand outdoor weather. Under $10 for a solid quality porch mat is a price point that's genuinely hard to find. 23. Genesis Grill. Weber Genesis is a name that serious outdoor grillers need no explanation for. This grill drops from $900 down to $599.97 after officially receiving a clearance tag, saving you a full $300 on a product renowned for its exceptional durability and lifespan. 3 independent heat zones give you precise control over each cooking area, and it comes bundled with a high-end protective cover to guard the grill through every season. If your family has been considering investing in a truly great grill for a long time, $599.97 for a Genesis is the signal to pull the trigger once and for all. 24. Lifetime Kayak. The 10-foot Lifetime Tundra Kayak drops from $399.99 down to $299.97, saving you nearly $100 for this round and coming bundled with a paddle and transport hooks. This sit-on-top style measures over 10 feet long with tracking hole channels for stable tracking, making it suitable for both beginners and experienced paddlers alike. One detail to account for in advance is the 275 lb weight capacity limit, which includes the rider, gear, and fishing rods. So evaluate your setup carefully before sealing the deal to avoid surprises once you hit the water. 25. Fantic Misting Fan. This product has the most interesting story on today's list. The Fantic Mist Flow 100 Pro hit shelves just 8 weeks ago at $69.99 and has already been pushed straight into clearance at $39.97, a drop of over 40%. When a product launched less than 2 months ago gets slashed by nearly half, it's a clear signal that Costco is clearing out summer inventory in a huge rush to make room for fall items. It features a built-in 270 ml water tank right inside the body for instant mist cooling and runs on a portable, rechargeable battery that's convenient for camping or hanging out on the patio. 26 KC Light Bar. The KC Light Bar Automotive Auxiliary Light drops from $49.99 down to $24.97, a flat 50% discount. It pushes 3,500 lumens of brightness with a strong magnetic base that grips onto a car's hood, featuring 4 lighting modes, 3 color temperatures, and USB rechargeability. It might sound like specialized gear strictly for off-roaders, but that's really not the case. Whether your car breaks down at night on a deserted road, you need lighting for an outdoor cookout, or you're simply fixing things in a dark garage, this hands-free magnetic light is there right when you need it. 27. Sharper Image Massager. A 70% discount from $100 down to $29.97 is a rock-bottom markdown for personal health tech at a Costco warehouse, and remaining stock at each store can currently be counted on one hand. The massage head features built-in hot therapy to melt away stiff, tight muscles after a long day, as well as cold therapy to reduce swelling and soothe joints following a workout or household chores. At its original $100 price tag, the Sharper Image unit was a solid product that still gave shoppers pause. At $29.97, however, it becomes a no-brainer, and that's precisely why it earned a spot on today's list. Right up next is a cooler bag whose markdown makes it cheaper than a single fast food meal for the whole family, yet its quality is far superior to what that price suggests. 28. Titan Pro Cooler Bag. The Titan Pro drops from $45 down to $19.97, a price cut of over $25 for a cooler bag featuring multi-layer insulation that keeps contents cold for hours on end. The leak-proof lining is easy to wipe clean, and the padded shoulder strap ensures comfortable carrying during picnics, sports outings, or keeping cold groceries fresh in your car. Getting a high-quality cooler bag at more than half off is a deal where buying a second one as a backup won't feel wasteful at all. 29. Corksicle Tumbler Set. The Corksicle 2-pack insulated tumbler set drops from $24.99 down to $12.97, breaking down to $6.50 per tumbler for a brand that consistently ranks at the top for temperature retention. The matte finish offers a secure grip, the design is sleek and premium, and it keeps drinks cold for hours without sweating on the outside. Sales have been a bit slow simply because color preferences vary by individual taste, but when it comes to quality, there is zero debate at this price point. 30. Just Bare Chicken Nuggets. The 4-pound bag of Just Bare Chicken Nuggets, originally $17.99, is marked down an extra $4 to $13.99 during this promotional event. What keeps this item on the absolute must-buy list for so many families is its light, thin breading wrapped around real, whole-breast chicken pieces inside. It takes just 10 minutes in the air fryer to yield a crisp plate of nuggets, while the meat inside stays tender and juicy. Many regular customers of Chick-fil-A have switched over to Just Bare because the taste is remarkably similar, yet it's far more convenient and budget-friendly when cooked at home. 31. Charmin Toilet Paper. Charmin Ultra Soft 30 Mega Rolls is currently $6 off, bringing it down to $23.99. There isn't much to analyze here because this is a household essential no family ever worries about having too much of. The rolls are thick, long-lasting, soft, and highly absorbent. Whenever Charmin goes on sale at Costco, it is the absolute best time to stock up on an extra pack for your pantry without needing any second thoughts. 32. Shark Stratus Vacuum. The Shark Stratus cordless drops from $299.99 down to $239.99 after a direct $60 instant savings at the register. It features powerful suction and a flexology folding wand that easily reaches deep under beds and couches without bending over, and auto-adjusts suction sensors that adapt to floor debris levels to conserve battery life. For anyone debating between Shark and higher-priced brands on the market, the Stratos is the most practical answer. 33. Uncharted First Aid Kit. Down from $29.99 to $9.97. This is a 67% markdown for a fully waterproof first aid kit packed with medical-grade emergency supplies inside a rugged, 100% waterproof hard case. Compact, lightweight, and equipped with everything you need for basic emergency situations. At the $10 mark, this is the cheapest piece of insurance every vehicle should keep in the trunk. No questions asked. 34 Turtle Wax Towels. For weekend DIY car detailers, Turtle Wax needs no introduction. This towel set drops from $15.99 down to $9.97, featuring high absorbency material that restores shine to plastic trim and bumper vinyl far more effectively than standard rags. The final item on today's list is something many people glance at and walk right past, but if you happen to be looking for a gift, it's a sweeter choice than you might think. 35 Avocado Chair. The avocado chair drops from $74.99 down to $49.97, featuring a soft plush fabric and a playful design that kids usually fall in love with at first sight. If you are looking for a birthday gift for a grandchild or want to set up a cozy little nook for your child in their room, this price cut of over 30% makes the decision far easier than hunting around at other stores. Your deal hunting trip will be even more complete if you spend a few minutes browsing through the center aisles, where the final clearance items are usually gathered. Leave a comment below if you score any great deals on this trip. I read every single one. Costco recently quietly implemented a series of its biggest changes in years, from tightening membership card rules and changing packaging to discontinuing a legendary menu item, and even canceling longtime members' accounts without prior notice. Are these changes truly a disadvantage, as recent complaints suggest, or are they actually an opportunity for you to turn them to your advantage? Let's analyze each change so you can find the answer for yourself. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. Tightening membership control with digital scanners. If you visited Costco recently and noticed the entry process felt different, you're not mistaken. The days of simply showing the back of your card to an employee and walking right in are gone. Now, there are automated scanning kiosks, with the cardholder's photo appearing directly on the door clerk's screen for verification. And this process applies to both the food court and the self-checkout area. During the first week of rollout at a California location, employees described the entrance around 10 a.m. on a weekend. A line nearly 20 people long, not because the machines were broken, but because shoppers only started digging through their wallets right at the door. Seniors struggled with the touchscreen, while younger shoppers kept their heads down staring at their phones looking for the QR code. Inconvenient? Absolutely, there's no denying that. However, right there in California, a longtime member left a comment on Reddit that got thousands of upvotes. I pay $130 a year. I shouldn't have to wait in line behind someone using their cousin's card. This isn't just a bitter rant. It reflects a reality that many honest members have quietly tolerated for a long time. Card sharing, borrowing from relatives, or group shopping on a single account was hardly rare. When Costco let that continue, the lost revenue ultimately had to be offset somewhere, and the shelf prices were the first thing affected. If you're worried about the inconvenience, the solution takes just 30 seconds. Download the Costco app, pull up your digital membership card, and have it ready before walking in from the parking lot. Passing through the scanner takes less than 2 seconds. No digging through your wallet, no keeping the line behind you waiting. This change is fair and reasonable. It's only annoying for those who are used to taking advantage of the old loophole. Thousands of people are arguing over a plastic bag at Costco. Sounds absurd until you find out what's really being affected behind it. Rotisserie chicken packaging transition. Costco's $4.99 rotisserie chicken is one of the rare items that has held its price steady despite years of climbing inflation. But stepping into 2026, it isn't the chicken that changed. It's what wraps around it. The familiar, clear, hard plastic dome container used for decades has been discontinued, replaced by a flexible, standing zip-top plastic pouch. The online backlash flared up quickly and specifically. Customers complained that the flexible pouch leaks grease into their trunks if not kept upright, that the chicken skin gets soggy from steam accumulating inside the sealed bag, and that it's harder to see through to pick the biggest bird in the batch. Some even raised concerns about flexible plastic coming into contact with hot food. A shopper in Texas posted a TikTok video of a grease-stained trunk, and the clip went viral fast, drawing thousands of sympathetic comments. Those concerns aren't without merit. However, here's the part many people overlook while venting their frustration. Switching to flexible bags cuts Costco's plastic usage by 75% across its entire rotisserie chicken lineup, equivalent to saving over 17 million pounds of virgin plastic every year. A single pallet of flexible pouches holds the equivalent volume of 5 pallets of the old rigid plastic containers, cutting more than 1,000 truckloads per year. More importantly, the savings from packaging and shipping are part of how Costco keeps the price at $4.99 while poultry costs keep rising. Do you want the price to stay the same, or do you want to keep the old plastic container? In reality, it's hard to have both at the same time. As for the grease leak issue, there's a simple workaround. Keep the bag upright or set it inside a reusable tote in your car. If the chicken skin gets soft, just open the bag as soon as you get home and pop the chicken in the oven for a few minutes to bring back the crispiness. These aren't insurmountable inconveniences. They're just new habits that take a little time to build. The chicken is still the same chicken, only the outer wrapping has changed. The story of a Costco food court item that vanished forever despite tens of thousands signing a petition to bring it back. And why Costco's refusal to back down is harder to dispute than you think. Discontinuing the combo pizza. Certain things are so tied to shopping memories that when they vanish, the reaction isn't just about inconvenience, it's a feeling of losing something familiar. The combo pizza at the Costco food court was one of those things. The official decision to kill it off, despite Change.org petition campaigns gathering tens of thousands of signatures, was one of the most emotionally charged moves by the Costco community in recent years. To understand why Costco didn't back down despite such heavy pressure, you have to look at how the food court actually operates. The combo pizza had too many fresh ingredients: bell peppers, onions, mushrooms, sausage, and olives, with customers frequently making custom modification requests. This constantly disrupted the automated pizza baking line, stretched out prep times, and drove up ingredient waste in ways that were impossible to manage efficiently across hundreds of warehouse locations. The calzone was introduced as a replacement because it features fixed ingredient portions sealed inside a crust, requires no custom requests, and yields significantly higher sales volume. The problem is, the calzone wasn't received the way Costco hoped. A member on the Costco Insider Forum shared, "I tried the calzone 3 times, and all 3 times I left half of it behind. The crust is too thick, there isn't enough filling, and it just doesn't give you that feeling of pulling a hot slice of pizza off the tray like I've done for 15 years. That feedback isn't an isolated case. The crust is overly thick, the ratio of filling to cheese is unbalanced, and most importantly, it fails to deliver the same experience as a crispy baked slice of pizza that shoppers have grown accustomed to." A calzone is essentially a folded sealed pizza, but when you fold up 15 or 20 years of nostalgia, the result is never quite equal. Costco's business strategy made sense, but the execution was lacking. If the calzone were truly great, this controversy wouldn't have dragged on for so long. The flaw wasn't in discontinuing the combo pizza, it was in the quality of what was brought in to replace it. This is one of those rare instances where customer complaints reflect a genuine product issue rather than mere emotional pushback. New option for the 150 combo. Costco's 1 or 50 hot dog and soda combo is one of the very few things that hasn't changed price in nearly 40 years, from 1985 all the way to now. While everything around it has jumped in price, that $1.50 figure has stayed put so consistently that many view it as living proof that Costco is still on the shopper's side. Stepping into 2026, Costco didn't raise the price of this combo, but they quietly added an option that most customers haven't realized yet. You can now swap out the 20 Oz fountain soda for a 16 Oz Kirkland Signature purified bottled water, still for the exact same $1.50, without adding a single cent. This choice isn't prominently advertised at the counter, employees don't actively mention it, and most shoppers only spot it when they happen to pause and look closely at the kiosk screen, instead of tapping through quickly out of habit. For people who need to manage their sugar intake due to diabetes or high blood pressure, this is the genuine difference between a worry-free meal and one that requires careful calculating. A longtime member in Seattle shared on a Costco forum that he had stopped visiting the food court for 2 years because he couldn't drink soda. When his son pointed out the bottled water option on the kiosk screen, his immediate reaction was, "Why didn't anyone tell me this sooner?" That question actually has a pretty clear answer. Costco has no incentive to broadly advertise an option that trims down their food court beverage revenue. There's another practical point that few people notice. In cities or states that enforce an excise tax on sugary drinks, like Seattle or parts of California, choosing bottled water keeps your order at an exact $1.50 without triggering additional sugar tax fees. Next time you're standing in front of the kiosk, don't tap through too fast. The option is right there. It just wasn't designed to jump out at you on your first try. Costco just raised its membership fees right when everything else is getting more expensive. Up next, you'll learn when upgrading your card is actually worth it and when it's not. Membership fee hike and the trend towards smaller packaging. Costco has officially raised its membership fees. The Gold Star tier went from $60 to $65, and the Executive tier went from $120 to $130 per year. This isn't the first time Costco has done this. They've bumped up fees multiple times throughout their history, and each time triggered a similar wave of pushback. What makes this round feel different is the timing, hitting right in the middle of an inflationary stretch where households are forced to rethink every single line item in their budget. The backlash across consumer news outlets has been fairly sharp. Many critics point out that with food prices climbing and the cost of living surging, it feels tone-deaf for a brand built on keeping prices low to hike its membership fees right now. A widely shared comment on Twitter read, "Costco raising fees by $10 while I'm out here debating whether I should buy a pack of yogurt." That sentiment is real, and it accurately reflects how a segment of budget-conscious members feels. Looking back at history, though, Costco only bumps its membership fee once every 5 to 7 years. The previous price hike was back in 2017, meaning they held the line for nearly a decade, while operating costs, employee wages, and logistics expenses all rose significantly. The $5 increase for Gold Star and $10 for Executive breaks down to less than $1 a month. That's a relatively minor adjustment relative to the cost pressures Costco is absorbing behind the scenes to keep shelf prices low. Costco's membership renewal rate consistently stays above 90% even after fee hikes, a number that speaks volumes about whether members still find real value in their card. Hand in hand with the fee increase is another emerging trend. Instead of only offering the massive, oversized bulk packs shoppers are used to, Costco is testing out somewhat more modest pack sizes at select locations to better fit smaller, modern households. This rollout isn't widespread yet, but it's being watched closely. For singles or two-person households, this could be a welcome shift that prevents overbuying and food spoilage. For bulk shoppers who count on buying massive quantities to maximize unit savings, however, that's a different story. Costco recently activated a tracking system that most members don't even know exists, and it's directly impacting the accounts of those who abuse the return policy. Tightening card cancellation policies for return abuse. Costco's 100% satisfaction guaranteed refund policy remains fully intact on paper. Recently, however, several members have received account termination notices without prior warning, sending a wave of anxiety through the shopping community. Is Costco scaling back its famous return policy? The short answer is no, but there's a longer story worth understanding. Costco has activated a historical account data analytics system to detect systematic patterns of abuse, and they are canceling memberships in those cases. Incidents uncovered on Reddit and Costco employee forums reveal truly unbelievable levels of abuse. A kayak rental business owner bought 12 kayaks in May for summer commercial use, then returned all of them in September for a 100% refund. One customer brought back a refrigerator after using it for an entire decade. Another returned food that was 80% consumed, claiming it didn't taste right. It might sound absurd, but Costco employees share that these cases are far from rare, and the costs from such abusive returns accumulate into numbers large enough to impact operations. Costco's generous policy has survived for so long because the majority of members use it as intended. When a small fraction exploits it like a free rental service, those costs ultimately get absorbed elsewhere in the system. What worries many members is that the line between using the policy correctly and getting flagged isn't always obvious. In reality, Costco's system doesn't look at individual transactions in isolation. It looks at the big picture of your account history over time. Someone returning a defective TV after 2 months will never be flagged. That's precisely why the policy exists. But for someone who returns 5 TVs in 3 years with constantly changing reasons, or someone who buys expensive electronics before every holiday season and returns them right afterward, the The system spots that behavioral pattern automatically without requiring any manual tracking by employees. If you're reading this and wondering whether you might accidentally end up on that watch list, the practical answer is, if you have to ask yourself that question, chances are you aren't on it. The canceled memberships involved clear, systematic abuse, not everyday shoppers using the return policy for its intended purpose. Digitizing the bakery ordering process. If you've ever ordered a birthday cake or a party platter at the Costco bakery counter, you know what that process looks like. A paper order form, filled out by hand, handed to an employee, and then returning to pick it up on a different day. That system was in place for decades, and for decades, it also caused lost orders, misread handwriting, or customer